wọ́n náà Nàìjíríà lẹ́ ń sunkún ẹ̀rí bẹ́ẹ̀ gbọ́n Nàìjíríà tó fẹ́ẹ̀lì bí education tó fẹ́ẹ̀lì bí health infrastructure wọ́n fẹ́ẹ̀lì gbogbo nǹkan náà fẹ́ẹ̀lì ẹ̀wá náà fẹ́ẹ̀lì bọ́ọ̀dù ẹ̀ ń sunkún ìran rẹ nígbà yìí gbogbo kọ́ọ̀pù tí ẹ gbà èwo lẹ́jú mú mi rí. àfáàwé náà wá sí òun kí ló dé wọn na ọmọ wa lánàá ni orí ìrè òpé ọmọ rẹ dànù wọn. kọ́lá tí Nàìjíríà bá gbọ́ bọ́ọ̀lù tí a bá yege èmi wà náà tí ó máa sunkún. ẹ yege mi eré pa ẹ fẹ́lì níbi gbogbo nǹkan kò sẹ́dù kéde kò sí ń pa. bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kọsẹ̀ kò lè rí oògùn lọ́sípítà kò sí náà kò sómi wọ́n bóònù ọ̀nà lọ ọdún mẹ́fà wọn ò ní ṣe eruku ó pàrọ̀ àdúgbò tán. wọ́n náà Nàìjíríà lẹ́ ń sunkún ẹ̀rí bẹ́ẹ̀ gbọ́n Nàìjíríà tó fẹ́ẹ̀lì bí education tó fẹ́ẹ̀lì bí health infrastructure wọ́n fẹ́ẹ̀lì gbogbo nǹkan náà fẹ́ẹ̀lì ẹ̀wá náà fẹ́ẹ̀lì bọ́ọ̀dù ẹ̀ ń sunkún ìran rẹ nígbà yìí gbogbo kọ́ọ̀pù tí ẹ gbà èwo lẹ́jú mú mi rí. àfáàwé náà wá sí òun kí ló dé wọn na ọmọ wa lánàá ni orí ìrè òpé ọmọ rẹ dànù wọn. kọ́lá tí Nàìjíríà bá gbọ́ bọ́ọ̀lù tí a bá yege èmi wà náà tí ó máa sunkún. ẹ yege mi eré pa ẹ fẹ́lì níbi gbogbo nǹkan kò sẹ́dù kéde kò sí ń pa. bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kọsẹ̀ kò lè rí oògùn lọ́sípítà kò sí náà kò sómi wọ́n bóònù ọ̀nà lọ ọdún mẹ́fà wọn ò ní ṣe eruku ó pàrọ̀ àdúgbò tán.
gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ ọ̀dọ́ tá a jọ ń káàkiri ọ̀dọ́jọ́ ni wá ẹ mọ̀ jẹ́ kí a fi àyè gba Fúlàní lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn bàbá wa ẹ mọ̀ jẹ́ ká bú ọba mọ́ ẹ mọ̀ jẹ́ ká bújòyè mọ́ nígbà tá a la fẹ́ jà fún àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa táwa ń kọ́kọ́ ń bú ọba tá à ń bújòyè èmi náà ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rí bọ́mọ pẹ́rẹ́ àmì padà ẹ mọ̀ jẹ́ ká bú àgbààgbà kankan mọ́ ẹ mọ̀ bolóṣèlú kankan ẹ̀rù kálukú ń bẹ̀rù wọn ò lè sọ̀rọ̀ ọba ò lè sọ ìjòyè lè sọ ẹ jẹ́ ká ronú ẹ mọ̀ jẹ́ ká bá àwọn bàbá àjàmọ́ ẹ mọ̀ jẹ́ á bú wọn mọ́ ẹ mọ̀ jẹ́ á ṣe wọn láwọn ará pẹ̀lú wọn àwọn àgbà tó bá jó lóṣèlú tá a bá fẹ́ kọ́ wọn rẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́ á pè wọn mọ́ra á gbé wọn mọ́ra ni à ní bú wọn mọ́ ẹ mọ̀ jẹ́ á ṣèjẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ mọ̀ jẹ́ á dà lúrú a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì ṣèjẹ̀gbọ́n a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì yìnbọn a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì dà lúrú gbogbo protest mo ṣe ní ìlú Nàìjíríà mi ò rí ibi tí mo ti ẹnìkan lè sọ pé mo pààyàn tàbí mo jó nǹkan náà tàbí mo bà nǹkan jẹ́ mo lọ písù torí pé olówó lèmi náà tí ò bá sólówó lára ń dì mọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tọ́lọ́run fún yẹn lọ́lọ́run fún mi mi ṣe tálákà tó dé pé mo dìde fún jà Yorùbá big man ni mi àwọn tó jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi tó súnmọ́ mi tó ní owó ní kí ni mo wá lọ bẹ̀ pé sọ́wọ́ ni mò ń fẹ́ ni kí n sọ yìí tí mo fẹ́ mo ní ìsọ̀rọ̀ owó àní ọ̀rọ̀ ìran mi ni mò ń sọ kí n wọ gbowó kí n gbéra kí n pé mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ ọba àgbowó mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ oníbodè òfin gbowó kí n kójó wọlé kọ́kàn mi balẹ̀ kí n dá wa mọ́tò kí n mọ́ rìn bọ̀ kí Fúlàní mọ́ da mi dúró ń títì kí n délé kí bàbá sọ pé kí n gbé tírélà sùn kí n mọ́ gbé lọ àwọn bàbá wo lè lóko mọ́ wọn ò lè lóńdò ẹ jẹ́ ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ká ti àwọn bàbá wa lẹ́yìn ká dá security ti wa lẹ̀ ká sọ fún wọn kí wọ́n bá wa fọwọ́ tì í ká lé wọn kó nu oko wa ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ Jésù Olúwa wa.
KOIKIMEDIA, we're bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
KOIKIMEDIA, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
KOIKIMEDIA, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Àwọn sálára àgbà yìí dá, àwa ló láṣà àti èdè. Gbígbédè lárugẹ nílẹ̀ Oòduà o, àwa gangan ni bàbá.
KOIKIMEDIA, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
They never sabi wetin we carry for her.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
I said they never know wetin we carry for body.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
Ọ̀kín lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ, kìnìún ló ló lajú.
Ẹyẹ tó dorí kodò bí àdán, ọ̀pẹ̀jẹ̀ lẹ́nu.
Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa. ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa ká jùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè gbódúdú àga.
Odùduwà kò bá lè gbé wa.
ọmọ Odùduwà ṣègìrì ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀tọ́ adúláwọ̀ ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé délẹ̀ ìlérí ká wálé gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀ àwa ní mọ̀lẹ̀ tí yóò tàn káàkiri.
Pé ọmọ Odùduwà ni wá.
Koiki Media àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa máa ní.
Kásá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wà kájé bùgbà yín jẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa máa ní.
À ń gbé tó lárugẹ à ń gbàsà lárugẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa máa ní.
News and sports ẹ máa rí gbọ́.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa máa ní.
ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀mí ló ní kí n máa ké tantan. Koiki Media ọlọ́lá gbajúmọ̀ mi o máa bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ o. ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn ọmọ Yorùbá tata o. à ń gbádùn rẹ ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀mí ṣẹ́yìn ló máa fi dìbò tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o. ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa ń dé máa dé ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀ o. igbó máa wọ̀ kájòjì ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀ àjòjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ á tẹ̀lé ní ẹbọra. ẹ̀yin lọ́ máa náwó kóyìnbó tó dé ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o owó náà dẹ́ tún pọ̀ sí o. Koiki Media ṣàwa ní bàbá. Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àdáńtọ́ àtúnpèrègèdè.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ o.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
àtúnjàfẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
ọmọ Oòduà ni wá o tọkàntọkàn.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
ikú tí ó ṣe bí lébi òsì àdìmú bàbá iyọ̀.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
We bring you work closer to your doorstep.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
afẹ́fẹ́ tó ń fẹ́ o tó ń kan kí oko lára ni.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
àpèrègèdè Olódùmarè ló fún wa ṣe.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
gbogbo ayé ẹ gbọ́ àwa ní bàbá o.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹ gbé polówó ọjà yín wá o.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Odùduwà lágbèdá ní òtítọ́ lágbèdá ní.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
a kì í sọ̀dálẹ̀ a kì í sódìkẹta.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
àdúró tán a tún pèrègèdè.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Koiki Media we bring you work closer to your doorstep.
Àwọn ní bàbá.
Koiki Media is around.
To give us latest.
Is around o.
Give us latest.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀. Ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó pọ̀jù owó.
ladies and gentlemen,
Ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀. Ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó pọ̀jù owó.
Koiki Media is around.
To give us latest.
Koiki Media.
Koiki Media, we're bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Koiki Media, we're bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Koiki Media.
Ìgbàgbọ́ wà níbẹ̀, má sì bẹ̀rù a máa tún dé bí a ti ṣe ń dé ní ọ̀sán yìí ní ọjọ́ 4 oṣù kẹfà ọdún 2024 aago kan ó kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 5 in another 1 hour wa máa fi kí zoo ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Mo kí wa pé assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa tí ẹ jẹ́ ẹlẹ́sìn ìsìláàmù. Màmá sọ pé ọmọ tó jẹ́ mùsùlùmí ó lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti kàwé, ó lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti ní proper education. Àmọ́ níbi tílẹ̀ Yorùbá dé ní wákàtí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ mùsùlùmí láti Kwara lọ sí Kogi títí dé ìlú Ondo títí dé ìlú Èkìtì, Ọ̀ṣun àti Lagos àti Ọ̀yọ́. A rí pé kò sí proper education fáwọn ọmọ wa látara pé kò sí investment. Mo kẹ́yìn Kristẹni, ọba Elédùmarè a máa sọ pé what God cannot do does not exist. Ẹ túbọ̀ máa fi àdúrà láti lè jẹ́ kíran Yorùbá lè bọ́. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Kristẹni ni kò láǹfààní àti lọ síléèwé mọ́ látara pé iléèwé tí wọ́n ń lọ kò sí àyè fún wọn mọ́ bí ti bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ ṣe ṣe. Àwọn ọmọ iléèwé náà lè rí yìí níbi tí wọ́n tẹsẹ̀ bọ́nú rọ̀fọ̀rọ̀fọ̀, nínú ibi tí wọ́n tẹsẹ̀ bọ́nú pọ̀tọ̀pọ̀tọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ń ka national anthem. Tá bá release audio tó ń bẹ lábẹ́ kínní old àbí new àbí fake, torí àtẹ̀mọ́ni tó jẹ́ fake tó jẹ́ new mọ́. Ẹ rí pé ìdí tí a ṣe ń sọ pé Kristẹni tí kò darapọ̀ mọ́ ìrìn àjò Yorùbá nation, àwọn ọmọ wa tí wọ́n wá jẹ́ Kristẹni àtàwọn ìran tó ń bọ̀, ǹjẹ́ àwọn Fúlàní máa fún wa láyè kí wọ́n lè kàwé ṣá? Mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí gbogbo àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe pé gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wa náà lè kọ́ kàwé. Kódà ó yẹ ká ti máa gbé ìṣẹ̀ṣe sínú nǹkan pè ní digital world, níbi tí a ti máa fi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ nípa Ifá nínú laptop àti iPad. Gbogbo kinní náà ó involve pé ká ní proper education, and I welcome you all as you're entering and settling into the program. It is a very bright, beautiful day. As usual, the month of June will be a successful month as we continue our campaign and our quest for the right of the Yoruba people to self-determination. Mo wá lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí all the leaders of the movement, láti bàbá tí ó ń wo future pé future tí Awólọ́wọ̀ fi sílẹ̀, àwọn tí wọ́n náà wọ́n ṣe the same future, wọ́n jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ lọ síléèwé mọ́. Education has been destroyed and many lives have been lost as well. And this is one of the reasons why Professor ADEBANJI Akintoye have instructed all the medias, including myself, pé ká jáde ká sọ fáwọn èèyàn wa what it will entail when you support a Yoruba nation vision. And tá bá dẹ̀ wo bí tílẹ̀ Yorùbá dé ní wákàtí, tí a bá wo the education of the Yoruba people that has been destroyed by the Fulani Caliphate and the selfish Yoruba politicians today, our youth and our children can no longer be represented properly. Ìyẹn ni bàbá Akintoye ṣe ní kí n sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé we shall revive and strengthen our education. This is the 3rd week of the conversation. Tẹ́bá ti miss the first 2, you will go and look for it on our platforms where we are streaming. But ẹ máa rántí pé KOIKIMEDIA platform is already shadow banned by the social media that doesn't want our message to travel to different parts of the globe. But we are pushing as well. We are making sure that the message of the Yoruba nation can go to different lands and different places. And that is the reason why we cannot give up on the vision tí a gbé dání. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ èlé sí i, mò ń padà bọ̀ láì tí ì dìde lórí ìjókòó. Yeah.
Nigeria tó fẹ́ ní education, tó fẹ́ ní health, infrastructure wọ́n fẹ́ ní, òun kan náà fẹ́ ní ẹwà náà fẹ́. Gbọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ ń sunkún ìran rẹ nígbà yìí. Gbogbo kọ́ọ̀pù tí ẹ gbà èwo lẹ́jú mú mi rí. Àfáàwé náà wá sí òun kí ló dé wọ́n na ọmọ wa lánàá ni, orí ìrìn òpé ọmọ rẹ̀ dànù wọn. Kọ́lá tí Nàìjíríà bá gbọ́ bọ́ọ̀lù tí a bá yege, èmi wà náà tí ó máa sunkún. Ẹ yege bí eré pa, ẹ fẹ́lì níbi gbogbo nǹkan, kò sẹ́ni kéde kò sí ń pa. Bẹ́ẹ̀yàn kọsẹ̀ kò lè rí oògùn lọ́sípítà. Kò sí náà kò sómi. Wọ́n bóònù ọ̀nà lọ, ọdún mẹ́fà wọn ò ní ṣe eruku ó pàrọ̀ àdúgbò tán.
Mo kí bàbá wa Imam Ọ̀fà tí wọ́n jẹ́ ká yé wa pé wàá bóònù ọ̀nà lọ ọdún mẹ́fà wọn ò ní ṣe ọ̀nà. Mo máa ń jẹ́ kó yé gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ní ẹlẹ́sìn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta tí à ń ṣe ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pé ẹ̀sìn kò bà Yorùbá Nation Movement jẹ́. You have the right to support the current government tí ó jẹ́ government tí ó ti bayé jẹ́ to destroy the educational system of Yoruba land. Today is the third day or probably the second day if I'm right látara program tá à ń bá lọ ìní ní Tuesday. Ẹ jẹ́ n kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wọnú ètò lọ díẹ̀díẹ̀. Let me first bring my face back out again. Ẹ mọ̀ pé tá a bá ti ń lo software that means pé iṣẹ́ pọ̀ tá a fẹ́ fi sọ̀rọ̀. This program will go all the way to 3 hours. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Mixlr ẹ fún wa ní another 1 hour an hour and the Mixlr will be on. But for now, just enjoy it from all the platforms. Mo kí àwọn KOIKIMEDIA there. The Mixlr is not live yet. It will be on in the next 1 hour. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin KOIKIMEDIA team that are working back to back, making sure that we can deliver the task ahead when it comes to our message of hope. Mo ti kí bàbá Akintoye mo á lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo lọ kí olóyè ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho Òòṣà. I'm sure that when CSI see these kind of videos, it will probably be very, very angry pé kí ló dé kí la ṣe tí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wa ní ìlú Ìbàdàn ní 33 local government ní Lagos state ní Ogun state ní Ọ̀yọ́ state ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá títí dé Kwara, Kogi, Ọ̀ṣun àti Èkìtì tí àwọn ọmọ ò lè lọ sí proper quality education. I welcome you to the broadcast. My name is Oluwole Koiki. Nígbà tí mo ti wá kí olóyè Ìgbòho mo kí Ọ̀túnba Adémọ́lá, the deputy of the YSDM. Àwọn wo ni wọ́n ń pè ní YSDM in case tẹ́ ẹ̀ báyìí tí mọ̀ wọ́n. The YSDM represent the Yoruba self-determination movement. Àwọn náà wọ́n á máa wò pé kí ló dé tíran Yorùbá tó wá ń lag behind. It is because àwọn tó yẹ kó ṣiṣẹ́ kí gbogbo nǹkan fi létò wọ́n ní Nàìjíríà ni àwọn gbèsè lẹ́yìn. Bọ́dọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí gbogbo ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá títí dé ìlú Ìgbòho. Mo kí bàbá wa Ọ̀jájá the second Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀. Mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí gbogbo ọba títí dé Àwùjalẹ̀. Mo kí gbogbo ọba títí dé Aláké. Mo wá ń kí gbogbo wọn pé ṣé bí a ṣe ń rí àwọn ọmọ wa tí wọ́n lè lọ sílé ìwé dáadáa ní jẹ́ pé school ní gbogbo towns, communities ó ti wà dilapidated tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ti gbé wa padà sẹ́yìn, that even this current dispensation has only put 7% when it comes to the budget for education. And these are the reason why Tashin sọ pé a lè continue in this direction. Àwọn tí ó jẹ́ kó gbóhùn sókè, àwọn orú bàbá báyìí, they refuse to put their face up anymore. Kàkà bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn set up private university ìyẹn Afẹ́ Babalọ́lá. Kàkà kó support his self-determination, he is more concerned about the interest of his own, where many Yoruba people will not be able to attend some of those universities àti gbogbo àwọn churches tó dá university sílẹ̀. There is nothing wrong to have private universities, but how many Yoruba people, how many of our people can attend all these institutions? And these are the reasons why we are concerned that kò lè continue by, and we can only continue to use platforms like ours and many other to educate. Àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re náà rí gbogbo ẹ̀ bó ṣe ń lọ. kàkà kí olúkálùkù wa ká dúró dáadáa pé ìtí bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ ń sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n amalgamate is no longer visible, is no longer working, and we should find a solution. Mo ń gbọ́ broadcast àwọn ọmọ Biafra kan lọ́sàn-án ìkan náà àwọn media wọn, and while he was going through that, one bi Nnamdi Kanu pé, would you prefer that this country called Nigeria, do you want it to go into another civil war? Èmi wá wonder pé sí nínú ogun, but 29,000 Yoruba people have died from terrorism. What about those that have died from not able to attend quality, proper education? Because if you are not educated, it will become an obstacle to the society, to the community, to the environment, and to the global world itself. And these are not the vision that we want. Whether Tinubu likes it or not, he cannot pump up the educational budget bí Baba Awólọ́wọ̀ ṣe ṣe during the 1950s. Tinubu ti gbé gbogbo budget yẹn ó gbé báyìí. Kàkà kó fi owó sínú education, he has pumped 33% into debt servicing. And that cannot sustain the Yoruba people and many Nigerians that are living in the contraction known as Nigeria. And this should mean that every single Yoruba sons and daughters should be more concerned today that àwọn terrorists tí wọ́n pa wá lẹ́nìí, tí wọ́n pè ní banditry, that I still don't understand why President Bola Tinubu continue to live in denial by telling us that these are bandits, knowing fully well that they are full-blown, grown-up terrorists tí wọ́n lè pààyàn, tí wọ́n lè báyàn sùn, tí wọ́n lè pàdíyà, tí wọ́n ń ṣe gbogbo jàǹbá nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́nìí, is because the North did not educate all the alimajiris tí ó ń bẹ nínú North. Àwa náà gbọ́dọ̀ wá allow káwọn ọmọ wa kí ó di pé they will not be able to sustain in the next 30 years, in the next 50 years, because ẹni tí ẹ bá educate lẹ́nìí ó ń padà bọ̀ wá sanjọ́ fún gbogbo wa, whether we like it or not. Àwọn òyìnbó tó kó wa papọ̀, wọ́n mọ̀ pé àwọn bá wa, wọ́n love education, wọ́n love pé kọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá kó kàwé, because a ti ń kàwé, and all that we will discuss during the program. All you can do for me is to share. As I am concerned about the Yoruba people that are not well educated, I am also concerned about the other rest of Nigerians that have also been that the education level have been destroyed by the military and by the current democracy. Táwọn kan bá ń sọ pé Tinubu should not be point for the destruction of Nigeria, we will tell you that Tinubu is part of the destruction of Nigeria because he brought in Buhari as an APC member. Òun gangan ló fund Buhari after they chase out Jonathan, saying that Jonathan could not sustain the bring back our girls after Barack Obama and play all their magic. And these are all the reasons that we the Yorubas are now saying, enough is enough. We will prefer to have what is known as self-determination. We will prefer to have our own independent Yoruba and make sure that up to 50% of the budget of the Yoruba people will be invest in education. But the Yoruba people of today does not want that, and that for me makes me a little bit concerned. I welcome you all. Àwọn tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń wò lẹ́yìn yìí, these are full-blown terrorists. They are not up to 30 years old. They can already know how to handle AK-47. And the question is, if we do not push to exit Nigeria, Nigeria will consume every one of us. It depends on how and when. We saw how the Yoruba people were trying to get food, ebi power during the COVID, when all the politicians stocked the food somewhere and the Yoruba people busted it. Mo kí wa pé good afternoon, welcome. As you're settling in, make sure you share the program. That is the only thing you can do for me. Just share the program. I have not asked you to give me money now. I would ask you before the end of the program. But for now, share the program and let us enjoy this afternoon discussion. I have started early so that we can have ample of time. For those of you that are on the Mixlr, bear with us. Within the next less than 54 minutes, by 2 o'clock, it will be up and running. Babami Boye Manyugbe sọ pé Lagos Ibadan Express Road has taken more than 20 years and it is still not yet completed. What kind of life is that? One good afternoon, Ọmọ Fìdípọ̀ Tẹ̀mọ́lẹ̀. It will be well with you. Mo kí bàbá mi ṣe gan ni. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa láti Triple DRS. My brother that I did not know that he was giving me so much support until he says, èmi náà ni mò ń jẹ́ Ayuba. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń bẹ ní south east part of the United Kingdom called England. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Bristol, Hull. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Leicester. Mo kí ní Manchester. Mo kí ní Scotland. Mo kí ní Wales. Mo kí ní gbogbo every part of United Kingdom. And I welcome you to this program. I am just one out of many people that believe that self-determination is the solution to the current dispensation of what is known as Nigeria. Mo wá lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń bẹ ní Austria dé Belgium. Mo kí ẹ Tony Ages. Mo ní ẹ pé very soon I will be taking the tour very soon. But for now, we have a lot of tasks to do. Mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń bẹ ní United Arab Emirates where President Bola Tinubu lied that the visa or work permit has been resolved. United Arab Emirates continue to steal our gold by making sure that there is danger, putting guns and everything. And don't tell me there's no evidence. We know that because even our sister broadcasts have told us that gbogbo gold tí wọ́n kó jáde ní Ọ̀ṣun State end up in United Arab Emirates. And that means that àwa tó yẹ ká wà educated, industrialized, and become one of the global way that people can come and buy our gold, we end up become the puppet and the poor people. Molobe Mokiyami Grace Robert. If you are new to this platform, you are probably have been angry before that Tinubu that we want to stop has become the president. Well, what has been it now after 1 year? It has become poverty. It has become blood sucking, as many people are now crying on a daily basis about power. Mokia Sikiru Alani Stone Cold. Good afternoon. Shout out to those of you that have joined us on the Instagram. I know some of you will probably watch it for 10 seconds and you're off. Akinsoro Alifanshani Bibai. It is afternoon broadcast. Akinsoro ọkùnrin àtọbìnrin bára wọn sùn. Àkínṣe dating site. Àkínṣe matchmaking ní Bibai. What we are more concerned on this platform is we want a future where you have a top quality education, not the one that is given to you by this fraudulent APC under the Bola Ahmed Tinubu. None of you needs to believe me, but one day, those of you that are still in support of that zoological country that British created for their own selfish interest, this is built in United Arab Emirates. This building then it cost $80 billion US. Ni what we call that is an Hindu temple in an Islamic country. Máa jàjẹ́ sìn. When the world is progressing, where the world is connecting, you are there supporting an evil country. Molobe Moki Peter Pan, a very good afternoon. I am on a full broadcast. I can tell you that right here, it is all locked down in my little confinement from my own studio from the house, since I don't have enough money to go and rent a place. So I currently use my own space. I convert it. So when I'm not using the mobile phone, I want to see every comment coming through. Daniel Oyedeni, United Arab Emirates has banned a lot, and even I don't think their airline is flying into Nigeria. Molobe Moki Medo Sani Baba, only good afternoon, White Lion, Ijoba Italomoki. I am not fighting those that support Bola Tinubu, but we are worried that Tinubu could not afford to give us 40% budget in education. Rather, it was forced to write a budget of 7% for education. And that is why many of you do not have the basic things that you should have. Let me just play that back again, because èmi máa ń like a practical, because practical gangan ni ó máa jẹ́ kẹ́ mọ̀ pé in tá à ń sọ níbí báyìí òtítọ́ ni. So let's listen to this one more time.
Wọ́n náà na Nàìjíríà lẹ́ ń sunkún ẹ̀rí bẹ́ẹ̀ gbọ́n. Nàìjíríà tó fẹ́ẹ̀lì bí education, tó fẹ́ẹ̀lì bí health, infrastructure wọ́n fẹ́ẹ̀lì. ohun kan náà fèlì ẹ wá náà fèlì bọ́ọ̀dù ẹ̀ ń sunkún ìran rẹ nígbà yìí gbogbo kọ́ọ̀pù tí ẹ gbà ìwọ lẹ́jú mú mi rí àfáàwé náà wá sí òun kí ló dé wọn na ọmọ wa lánàá ni orí ìrìn òpé ọmọ rẹ dànù wọn kọ́lá tí Nàìjíríà bá gbọ́ bọ́ọ̀lù tí a bá yege èmi wà náà tí ó máa sunkún ẹ yege mi eré pa ẹ fẹ́lì níbi gbogbo nǹkan kò sẹ́dù kéde kò sí ń pa bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kọsẹ̀ kò lè rí oògùn lọ́sípítà kò sí náà kò sómi.
These are my children tablets, not tablet, iPad. These two, then will allow me. These are iPad. That is the vision that Baba Akintoye wants for Yoruba children. Kò ṣe pé káwọn ọmọ máa lọ máa ta omi, kọ́ lọ máa ta wóróbo. Baba Akintoye wants the vision that your children will also come back from school after they've had a lot of opportunities and they can return back home and log into their own tablet, whether it's a Samsung, whether it's a Lenovo, whether it's a whatever model of tablet that you are using, and they can log in, and which is what I'm going to do. They know the passcode. I'm okay. So let me just log in now. And as soon as I logged in, I don't have to show you the screen. Right there, they have different things written here in terms of their tablets, in terms of their games. But there is something unique to one by Toba Denisi, go and take your iPad. There is time for everything. This is the vision tí Baba Akintoye sọ fún ọmọ Yorùbá that they refuse to listen. Mo kí ẹ ní gbogbo Miami, easy. Mo kí ẹ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Mr. Waris Jinobi, Ajosha Isuni. This is the second program for the day. I was already had 2 hours program. Kò ní rẹ̀ mí, kò dẹ̀ ní rẹ̀ yín náà. I have told you, I will educate you. Kò ń sọ̀rọ̀ jà. I have been told not to curse anymore, but not the politicians. But the average people, I will just let it go for now. Because not from the Christian side, not from the Islamic side, from the self-determination side, from the humanity side. Kí ló dé táwọn ọmọ tèmi ní access eléyìí, táwọn ọmọ tiẹ̀ náà tó bá ti bímọ agbára Elédùmarè wàá tún bí. This is the kind, so right there, as I scroll around it, and I hope I know where it is hidden, because I'm man told you on Beka Mobitowa. And there is something called mathletics. Right there, it tells them to sign in. And Tobadet is signing straight into this. It is already connected through the server straight to their schools. One, Viking, good afternoon. Jimmy, good afternoon. When the Emirates will start flying into Nigeria in October, they play. Tinubu sọ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ pé wọ́n ti gbówó dé. Many of you do not understand what we are talking about. Àníṣe táwọn ọmọ bá dé láti iléèwé, wọ́n máa log in sínú tó ń pè ní mathletics, and the moment they log in here, ó ti mọ̀ pé wọ́n ti sign in. Ó lè lock date, time, seconds. Wọ́n bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣiṣẹ́, á wá máa fún wọn ní different activities. This is the future that we want. But àwọn olóṣèlú mọ̀ pé gbogbo kinní tá à ń sọ yìí, ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ní owó yẹn láti lè fund ẹ̀, but kí ló dé tí wọ́n fund ẹ̀? Ìbéèrè tó yẹ ká béèrè lọ́wọ́ ara wa nìyẹn. Why have they refused to fund it? Why is it that the education is not funded? What is our offense? Talashe. What is our crime? And Baba Akintoye at 89 decided that the only option so that we can have a quality education, òun ni pé let's leave Nigeria alone. That does not mean that we would not love our neighbors. That does not mean that we would not work with our neighbors that we've lived together for 64 years, in 63 years, in a painful way. Because in the 63 years, bigotry, whatever you can name, kò sífẹ̀ẹ́. Igbo ni o, wọ́n ti fẹ́ gbalẹ̀, àwọn ṣe drugs, àwọn ṣe Yoruba ni o, Hausa ni o, you know. Débi pé tó bá fẹ́ gbá tournament in a football match, tí wọ́n fẹ́ kó àwọn tó máa gbá ball, wọ́n máa lọ ń ṣoògùn pé Kémẹ́ká lè wọlé kí Rashidi má débẹ̀, ẹsẹ̀ lòmí àwọn gbẹ̀ngbẹ̀ báyìí. Pé kí ló dé? Because they want to get into the national team. And since tí gbogbo wa pọ̀, England is smart, àwọn dá dúró. Scotland is smart, àwọn dá dúró. Wales and the rest of the Northern Ireland. But lọ́dọ̀ tiwa, wọ́n kó gbogbo àpapọ̀. And what I say to many of you, come and study here. You are investing in the university in this country. I could not afford it. I pull out. After tó sọ fún mi pé I have to pay international fee. Tó fún mi ní price yẹn, mo sọ fún wọn pé no, kó bá mi hang it. When I'm ready, I will come back and complete my degree. That was how I stopped my first university right in this country. Because I couldn't afford it. So, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá wà nílé tẹ́ ta property tẹ́ fi ń wá to start with. But that is because you are not spending the whole money in one go. I mean, ní owó láti fi ṣe the full package. So what everybody does is you pay the half package of the university. Gbogbo wa la mọ̀ bó ṣe ń lọ. Tẹ́ bá ti wá sanwó díẹ̀ with the expectation pé tẹ́ bá dé UK, ẹ lọ máa ṣiṣẹ́, ẹ lè raise owó tó kù, ẹ wá realize pé it doesn't work because the UK system automatically locked you to 16 hours only. O máa sanwó lé. I am not discouraging you. Please don't misquote me. If you can make it down and survive it. But for me, I didn't come here to come and study. Mo jápa ni. Ẹ̀yin lẹ fẹ́ wá kàwé, èmi jápa from the beginning. But ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá fẹ́ fi wá kàwé yẹn, you will understand that by the time you start multiplying your other expenses with a 16 hours job, you will struggle. Because èmi gangan struggle pẹ̀lú pé mo wà nínú system tí mo dẹ̀ ní ìyá ní bíbá tí mo dẹ̀ lẹ́gbọ̀n nínú ìlú yìí and all other network. Not that lè gba loan ká fi ṣe. I couldn't afford it. Èmi ò ní láti máa lọ lo ẹlòmíì as my example. Èmi gangan ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. I could not afford the international fee, and I'm talking about almost some 10-15 years ago. After tó gbé bíìlì yẹn wá, tó sọ fún mi pé for me to continue. After I told them that I live here, but nígbà tó wá ní you live here, ẹ mọ̀ pé mi ti wà nù system kí tó wọnú university. Kò ń ṣẹ̀yìn tẹ̀ ṣe ń process ẹ̀ because I came with a visa that I went for the appearance in Abuja in 1998. Ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ lọ́kì nísìn, kò sẹ́ni kankan tẹ́ ń bá yín interview, bóyìnbó sọ̀rọ̀. Èmi bóyìnbó sọ̀rọ̀ ni, ìyẹn lòyìnbó mi ṣe dúró tata má tẹ̀ ń tàbọ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀. Mo lọ bóyìnbó ṣe interview ní Abuja ní 1998. And I never told them I was coming to study. Because I went there for a different reason, but I got the visa. But on my arrival, after I've settled down, I can't remember exactly when I did my foundation. As a foundation, you don't need anything than you just pay a certain amount for a foundation course. But nígbà tó di pé mo parí foundation, tí mo wá lọ́wọ́ year 1, ibẹ̀ ni wàhálà ti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Because you are coming from the foundation, who is who? Ẹ̀yin ò ní ṣe foundation because you are coming from Nigeria. You would have to go straight to start either as a master or you start as a first year student. Ìkànnì méjèèjì ni. But èmi láǹfààní àti ṣe foundation. Your foundation will not guarantee a student visa. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Mo kí bàbá mi Kúnlé Ṣítà, mo kí àmì Ṣódẹ́yìndé. Mo kàn ṣàlàyé fún yín because we are discussing about education, and please you can also call it the number ló wà lókè yẹn. Tó bá jẹ́ pé rọ́ ni mò ń pa tẹ́lómi náà kò go through tèmi go through. But bá ń sọ fẹ́yìn tẹ́ wà nílé is not to discourage you from coming to United Kingdom. Triple DRSA is a fact that failed in everything. Just look at where the children are. I can reduce it a little bit so that you can see the condition of what they've done to the life of our people. The whole program today will be on education. We can go from one end to the other. I am still telling you that I did not leave Nigeria to come and become a student, because student visa called me did we. Student visa called me did we. So, but for the fact that I live in the system, I applied for a foundation course, which does not need any identification. And moreover, I was able to apply with the Nigerian birth certificate. I got my professional driver license. You can't do it anymore with that anymore. So I was very privileged. This is about some 20 years or 24 years ago. So Motigba driver license. So I was using my driver license as part of my form of identification. So I want they need the passport, Ottawa University as the foundation course. So, but nígbà tó wá di pé mo fẹ́ lọ ṣe year 1 lọ́wọ́ ń béèrè pé arákùnrin súnmọ́ wa náà. A ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ lecture o mọ̀ pé ìlú ìwọ̀n náà yàn lẹ́gba kò dàbí Nàìjíríà tí lecturer wants to look under the skirt of a student. And eventually, after some months, or I can't remember, ó wá di pé ká sanwó mo á ní mo fẹ́ san home fee. Ó wá ní ó yá, bring your right to live in this country. Ló wá di wò mí wẹ̀. Ló bá di kí ni mo sọ wò mí kí n wẹ̀. Right to live in the country, òun làwa wá fi ń ṣe ẹlẹ́lẹ́yà táwọn Fúlàní àtàwọn ẹ̀yà míì. I am not talking about those that we are living together, that we have been living together before the amalgamation and after the amalgamation. So tí bá ń sọ fún àwọn ẹ̀yà míì, don't point me to Igbo people. Igbo pọ̀ ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, I'm not interested in that. Gbogbo wa ti ń gbé tẹ́lẹ̀. Kódà fídíò àwọn ọmọ Biafra yẹn, I wish I can get that copy, because Nnamdi Kanu was mentioning something that before the amalgamation, everybody was living separately. I don't know whether we were fighting each other, whether we hate each other. Before the amalgamation, when British came, the Igbo people were on their own. The Hausa people were on their own. The Yorubas and the rest. Do you know that we all live in different pockets of that location, geographical location? It is the British that decided that for their own selfish gain and interest to match everybody together after Jawalole slave trade. So whether we were fighting each other before, I don't know. But I don't think anybody can have evidence or say that we were fighting. But now, the reason why there's hatred between us and the rest is because our ideology is different. But going back to the education line that we are discussing this afternoon, and this is a live transmission. Today is the 4th June 2024. My name is Koiki. Moki Yawa Sherifat Alabi. And if you comment, it will be of interest. Oluwole, thank you so much. And somebody just said here, yes, Baba Akintoye wants us a good life. Koiki no, she enjoy a good life, at least to some extent. So what I'm trying to say, going back to how I could not fund my university because it was expensive. It is not cheap. So eventually, I pull out. But today, many Yoruba people that came in on a lighter note, the dollar was still 481 naira to the dollar when they were making it down to UK some 2 years ago. All of a sudden now, the dollar has gone up to 1,004 something. That means, and let's start looking from the behind the curtains. So again, we're going to play a lot of this today because it reflects to the discussion I'm having today. Let's go again while I prepare the other end.
One in Nigeria, then so called Nigeria to fail in the education, to fail in the health, infrastructure, one failing, who cannot fail, and one failing body and so called running by him. We will go put check by, will let you mommy. Àfáwé náà wá sí òun kí ló dé wọn na ọmọ wa lánàá ni orí ìlú òpé ọmọ rẹ̀ dànù wọn nígbà tí Nàìjíríà bá gbọ́ bọ́ọ̀lù tí a bá yege èmi wà náà tí ó máa sunkún ẹ yege mi eré pa ẹ fẹ́lì níbi gbogbo nǹkan kò sẹ́ni kò sí ń pa gbẹ̀yìn kọsẹ̀ kò lè rí oògùn lọ́sípítà kò sí náà kò sómi wọ́n bóònù ọ̀nà lọ ọdún mẹ́fà wọn ò ní ṣe eruku ó pàrọ̀ àdúgbò tán. wọ́n náà na Nàìjíríà lẹ́ ń sunkún ẹ̀rí bẹ́ẹ̀ gbọ́n Nàìjíríà tó fẹ́lì bí education tó fẹ́lì bí health infrastructure wọ́n fẹ́lì ohun nǹkan náà fẹ́lì ẹ̀wá náà fẹ́lì bọ́ọ̀dù ẹ̀ ń sunkún ìran rẹ nígbà yìí gbogbo kọ́ọ̀pù tí ẹ gbà èwo lẹ́jú mú mi rí.
And let's go into it bit by bit. Let's look at some of these data. And like I said, it is important that many of you understand that this is not to discourage you. Láti wá sí UK, lọ́kùwá kàwé. If you can fund it, anyhow, mo kí bàbá wa Kẹ́hìndé Salami, bàbá mi Lukman Ọláìdé mo kí yín. And shout out to many of you that have joined me this afternoon. So let's go straight into it this afternoon. Let's look at the UK education system. International undergraduate tuition fee varies from almost £11,400 to £38,000. The average cost is estimated to be around £22,000 per year. A multiplier, let's say naira. As long as you can afford £22,000 a year, but if you are hoping that you will come to UK and you will earn £22,000 per year while at the university, you are joking, because I will tell you that you are only allowed 16 hours as student. 16 hours student, international student. International student. That is what you're allowed to do when you're living here. 16 hours. 16 hours. Oh, niche 40 hours. It has been locked in. Let's open this. According to UK Council for International Student Affairs, can I work in the UK? Many, but not all student and child student can work. This depends on the type of student sponsor you have. You can find what type of student sponsor you have and their sponsor status in the sponsor type. I'm coming on. Working hours. Now, and this information, like I said, is just to align with our discussion on education, not to discourage you to come to UK and further your education. Moki Babawa Akin Salami. Shout out once again to Waris Jinadu Egbomi àti gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà lórí ètò àtàwọn tó wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n kàn máa ń fi tí kọ́ program yẹn tán ní Koiki ẹ̀fiṣẹ́ làwà wà bọ̀ à ń tẹ̀lé ẹ̀ Moki Baba mi Victor. Once again, remember that you will need £22,000. Don't ask me to convert it. You do so yourself and let me know how much that costs when it comes to Naira. If you can afford it, please come down to UK and do your studies. If you cannot afford it, then maybe you might want to look at another route that you will need to live in UK. But as a student, if you have permission to work, working hours in time, that means pé lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó bá wà nínú school, must not exceed between 10 to 20 hours a week. You can work full-time outside the term time. However, it is important that you check any limit on work that your university, college, or school imposes or recommends that you do not exceed. To bá exceeded, ó máa backfire. You would have problem with it. If you exceed it, you might be wondering at Koiki, but no, they will know because you have what they call a system that has been set up to monitor everything that we do, including what we call your national insurance number. Your national insurance number is a number that is given to everyone, including myself, including each student, apart from ẹni tó wá ṣe visit. But if jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run, let's be careful. I am not here doing a program how you get to UK. Listen to the program. I am just educating us, including myself. How much is it going to cost you to get to UK? I don't know. I am not a visa agent. I am not an immigration officer. I am a à ń ṣe programming látara Yorùbá Nation Education. Ibi tí programming gbé wa dé lẹ́nu ni a fi ń sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe fẹ́ wọ UK, I don't know. I am not visa agent. Just follow the program and pick whatever you can pick out of it. You would have what I call national insurance number. The national insurance number is proving your identity, and you will not go beyond doing that hours. That is why the students, they are complaining. Nigerian students in the UK. Àwa dẹ̀ la wá kàwé jù nílùú yìí. If our own university is top notch, Mokia Dennis, Larry Lamina, good afternoon. Nigeria has a growing market for university recruitment in recent years with over 44,000 students that are registered at the UK institution between 2021 and 2022. There is nothing wrong to come and further your education, but o gbọ́dọ̀ ní 22,000 pounds tó fẹ́ máa ná in 1 year. Kò tí ì sówó ilé, kò tí ì sówó other bills and expenses. Then tó bá máa ṣe course tó jẹ́ pé kò lè jẹ́ ọdún méjì, gbogbo course tẹ́ fẹ́ wá ṣe ọdún mẹ́ta ni. Mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa Yẹmí Fátókí, mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ. That means that you will need 66,000 pounds by the time to máa fi wá kàwé yẹn tán. If you're lucky, no, it's okay. And don't be question. I just have to make it clear because I don't want people to think that I'm doing this program because I want somebody to reach out to me and say, Koiki ti ń ṣe visa. I am not a visa agent. Àwọn ọmọ tó ń bá mi ṣiṣẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ bá kówó fún wọn, ẹ̀sán wọn mọ́gọ̀ nìyẹn, wọ́n gbọ́ mi. I say it all the time. Now, kí ló dé tá à ń fún mẹ́lẹ̀ jáde ni pé bàbá Akintoye jẹ́ kó yé wa pé until we all go back to the reality table, which I have done the 7 minutes ní video yẹn. Some of you have heard the audio, while some of you will probably watch the video, which is already uploaded as well. This is some of the job I am doing quietly behind the scene. And like I said, ẹ support wa. There's a lot that we can do from here, and there's a lot that we want to do from back home. Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ education, we shall revive and strengthen our educational system. Baba Akintoye ló sọ. So what we're going to watch now, while I mute my mic, is what we called the education sector. Ẹ ní láti rójú tèmi for now. So let's watch the video. It's 7 minutes, then I'll come back and we'll take it from there. Once again, we need to understand that Nigeria is not for us. It might be for some people, but it's not for the majority of Nigerians. And these are more reasons why everybody should start saying the truth and nothing but the truth.
Good news. Part 2. Prosperity in our Orilede Yoruba by Professor ADEBANJI Akintoye. Introduction. In the following pages, I try to present the glorious picture of our soon-to-come country, our Orilede Yoruba. I try to describe the dreams that are impelling millions of Yoruba men and women in all countries of the world to engage seriously in the Yoruba self-determination struggle, to come together in countless self-determination organizations and clubs, to keep awake for many hours night after night, putting ideas from their disciplines and professionals in writing about our soon-to-come country shall be great, prosperous, and powerful in the world. God Almighty made us Yoruba people a great people of talent, intellect, and skills, and large numbers of us are now pouring out those gifts into the ideas that will make our country one of the greatest and most famous countries in the history of the world, and that will make us Yoruba people a loving, laughing, humiliated family of happy and contented men, women, and children. A lot of the intellectual and other effort by our people come to me as father of our self-determination struggle. Altogether, they make me humble, happy, and proud. Employing my own speciality and insight, I hereby put forth, point by point, the main items of what I perceive to be our nation's purpose, determination, and expectation. I urge all my Yoruba people to read it. I urge each to endeavor to bring the benefit of his or her speciality to bear on any of its various points. In its totality, this is a manifesto from those of us who are fighting for our sovereign Yoruba nation, our independent Yoruba country separate from Nigeria. I live in the unwavering faith and hope that our Yoruba country shall soon be free, and that thereafter we shall see the glory of God upon the life of our free and sovereign Yoruba nation and upon all of us Yoruba people. We shall revive and strengthen our education. Education is the greatest enterprise of modern Yoruba people. From the coming of schools to West Africa in about 1840, the Yoruba led the rest of Africa in education. Free primary education started in 1955 in the Yoruba Western region, widening the gap very seriously. But since the independence of Nigeria in 1960, various factors have combined to rob the Yoruba gradually of their lead in school enrollment in the quality of education. Rejection of education by those controlling the federal government of Nigeria resulted in low budgetary allocations for education. By about 2005, only about 6% of Nigeria's budget was being allocated to education. Remember that in some years of the 1950s, Chief Obafemi Awolowo Western Regional Government was allocating as much as 40% of the budget to education. Remember too that UNESCO suggests that 26% allocation will be about the good average for education in any country. In most states of Yoruba Southwest, teachers' salaries were not being regularly paid. Morale was seriously lost among teachers. Schools were no longer receiving adequate teaching materials. School buildings deteriorated. By about 2010, the massive unemployment among Yoruba graduates of schools, colleges, and universities was discouraging Yoruba parents about education. By that date, many schools of the Yoruba Southwest were no longer performing as well as schools in some other part of Nigeria in the public examinations. Schools enrollment was starting to fall. Altogether, we Yoruba people have lost our leadership position in education in Nigeria. In our ORILEEDE Yoruba, we will have excellent opportunities to take back our strength in education. In general, we will make the right budgetary allocations for education. In the first few years, we will provide other funds for revamping the quality of the buildings and the physical properties of our educational institutions. We will elevate the teaching professions to its place as a noble profession. We will provide for renewal learning programs for teachers. We will celebrate a Teachers' Day annually. We will establish performance contests among schools in public examinations. Finally, we shall make all our students computer literate. We will assist our 4 oldest universities, Ibadan universities, Obafemi Awolowo universities, Lagos University, Ilorin University, to rise quickly to the ranks of the highest and the best universities in the world. We shall seriously elevate all our other universities too. We will make technology a very emphatic feature of our whole educational system. We will strive to make our educational system and our educational institution rank among the best in the world. We shall have free education for our children up to higher school certificate. We shall then have a tertiary education loan system for university, college, and polytechnic education. We shall create a vocational fund for short-term vocational career programs at home and abroad. Finally, we shall recreate a fund which our father Awolowo established in 1950s, a fund from which our talented university students, if sent by their universities or invited by international organizations to which they belong, will be able to participate abroad in holiday student programs, conferences, and other events.
Well, that is just one out of so many things that Professor Adebanji Akintoye wants us to continue to use to enlighten ourselves. Gbogbo yín náà lẹ ti gbọ́ in tí mo kà yẹn ní under 7 minutes. But in tí gbogbo wa gbọ́dọ̀ understand ni pé there is a danger if we do nothing, especially when it comes to the education of Yoruba people. Our educational sector has been destroyed completely. It is no longer what it used to be. It has taken us backwards. Egbomi Triple DRS have been able to combat that you will need about 40 million naira in today's exchange. Láti wá kàwé. Is that the old 22,000 pounds or is that the 66,000 pounds? Ẹ bá mi confirm here, please. Because per year, you need 22,200 minus accommodation, feeding, and others. But for now, you need 40 million naira. Kó tó lè sọ pé ìwọ náà fi wá kàwé ní UK. If you have 40 million naira that you can play with, there is nothing wrong in that. For ṣé gbogbo wa la ní 40 million. These are many reasons why we are concerned. Tá bá wo Nigerian students that came to UK to study, it's because the quality of education in Yoruba land today is no longer a very good one. And even if it's good, there are other reasons why people are running out of Nigeria, because the education system has gone the other way around. So many people have decided that they will take advantage of coming out of Nigeria to further their education, even though ẹlòmíì ti ṣe first degree, but they are not concerned. They want to come back and do the same other first degree because it gives them the opportunity and the benefit to leave Nigeria with their family. But you are no longer coming to UK with your family because that window has been closed, at least for the first degree holder. I think if you're a PhD or if you're on scholarship, you will still be able to. But tó bá kàn jẹ́ pé wọ́n tó yẹ pé first degree lásán ló fi wá ṣe, you will not be able to do so anymore. Now, ìbéèrè tó yẹ kí gbogbo máa béèrè wa ni pé, for how long are we going to continue like this? Remember, like I said, that some few days back, Nigeria takes up case of the Teesside University student that have been ordered to leave the UK. Kí ló fà á The High Commissioner is to meet leaders at the university after currency crash in their home country means that students couldn't pay for the tuition fee. Whoa, school summer. It's not their fault. It's because the exchange rate to Wole has been tripled, and that is now creating a lot of problems for many of the Nigerian students that are living in the United Kingdom. We still have top-notch university like Obafemi Awolowo, Ilorin, and University of Ibadan. But the quality has dropped drastically. The quality is not what it used to be anymore. And that is creating pressure on the system itself. In 30 minutes, the mixed LR will go live. For those of you that are waiting patiently. Mo ṣe ń sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé education kọ́kọ́ jẹ́ the first priority fúnlẹ̀ Yorùbá. According to this write-up from the Guardian, that also says they support the Guardian, fund an independent journalism with £10 every month. Just like baby náà ṣe máa ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín, òun lọ́kọ síbẹ̀ yẹn. Support us. You can see gbàgàdà. But tèmi bá gbé tèmi síta nísìn tí bá ní support KOIKIMEDIA. For some of us, not everybody, it looks like pé ó wá ń tọrọ bárà. No. Media ń tọrọ bárà. Media need the public láti fund ẹ̀ kó lè wà independent so that kò ní wà bá kò ní fi síbí kan, especially with the system like Nigeria. Because the system tí Nigeria ń lò lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ lẹ́nu, right? That system is completely shambles. And this reason why we are saying every donation that you are giving us, we are very pleased and we appreciate it, and we don't take it for granted, regardless of whatever it is. And for those of you that have not been able to do so, maybe because you don't have it, we say thank you so much for your prayers and the love and support for KOIKIMEDIA. So tẹ́ bá wo Guardian nísìn náà, the same thing tẹ́mi náà ń béèrè, làwọn náà ń béèrè pé ẹ ràn wá lọ́wọ́, ẹ support wa. Give us £4 every month, and you can get exclusive newsletter from supporters that are sent every week from the Guardian newsroom. Give us £10, unlimited access to the Guardian's app, ad-free reading on all your device, exclusive newsletter, or give us £16, the reward from All Access Digital. So láti £4 up to £16. So I just want to always clarify this each time I have opportunity to use. So let's read further. Delegate from the Nigerian High Commission in London are to meet the bosses from Teesside University to discuss the treatment of a group of students who were ordered to leave United Kingdom after failing to meet tuition repayment. The Nigerian students were left distressed and in some cases suicidal after they were involuntarily withdrawn from their courses and ordered to live in what has been described as a serious diplomatic issue. Nigeria has been a growth market for university recruitment in recent years. Mo sọ fún yín pé is a business center. According to 2021 to 2022, 44,000 students tó jẹ́ ọmọ Nigeria are registered in the United Kingdom. 44,000. Now, multiply 44,000 here at average of 22,000 or 44,000 by 40 million. That is a substantial amount of money. Some people can afford it without any problem. Peter George says, thank you, Mr. Koiki. You have done very well to educate our people in Yoruba land and abroad to know the benefit of self-determination and a country of their own. It is left for them to make use of this. Thank you so much once again, my brother Peter George. So what I'm trying to explain here, Mukiawa Olubumi Oloyede, is that we are just saying that Yemi Shole, and I know this brother very well. I know him because we've engaged a lot while I was in the Nigerian community. The founder and the head coordinator of the Nigerian Student Union UK accused Teesside University of failing its duty of care. Students were not supported, their mental health and well-being was not considered. Even though international students ni what is sanwó díẹ̀ but wọ́n ọ̀rọ̀ owó tó kù san. So ẹ jẹ́ ká tún lọ síbí báyìí. Nigerian students BBC, they couldn't afford it. And there's also a lot of problem. This is another one. Nigerian students are now seeking help from the food charity. Oh, ẹ má bínú motel, ẹ má bínú la kúlẹ̀jà la ibi motel transfer motel move over screen is about intoshi show account number la tenkan. I didn't realize that ẹ má bínú that I didn't move it back, you know. So let's go back to this one I was showing you earlier. So gbogbo tí mo tẹ̀ ń show la tenkan tí mo ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa guidance, support and all that, you didn't see it. So this is the one I was talking about earlier. And that's why it's good to have multiple screens. Even though I was very focused on my own screen, I wasn't looking at the other screen in front of me. So, coming back to this, now, Nigerian students are seeking help from food charity. Kí ló dé tó ń gbóúnjẹ lọ́wọ́ food charity? The Nigerian students eat by financial crisis, ogun àìrówó, because o lè fund the education pẹ̀lú owó tó fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ nílùú yìí. It is only 16 hours. Mo ti ṣàlàyé lẹ́ẹ̀kan 16 hours is all or maximum 20 hours. There is no way you will be able to sustain that. But the fact that many Nigerians hope that wàá fìyẹn fi leverage láti ẹ̀ ti fi kúrò ní Nigeria. But when you get there, it's another different thing entirely. Like I said, this program is not to discourage you from coming to the UK. It is just reflections to what we are treating, known as the Yoruba nation revive and strengthening our own educational system. For 1 minute, I'll be back again on my seat. So, what I'm just trying to explain, as usual, is that we are all facing these difficulties. Whether you are a Nigerian that is living here, whether you are a diaspora, whether you are a Nigerian that came to study, whether you are just one that have lived in the country for some time, gbogbo wa la wà affected one way or the other. I am affected, you are affected. I have been affected because the opportunity láti lè lọ because it was expensive. I couldn't afford it. So you tell you afford it, they will get stuck. We can't blame you. We blame the country called Nigeria that got you into this mess. So whether you support the dissolution of Nigeria or not, you have left Nigeria and you have now become financial crisis that you have to seek food from the charity shop. Nigerian students hit by a financial crisis make up the majority of clients at the food charity, his manager has said. An economic crash. Did you hear that word? That will be part of what is going to make Nigeria collapse. Because Tinubu will not be able to sustain the economy of Nigeria to allow you as a foreign student, international student, to cope. So, and those of us here, lè pè yàn nísìn tó wà ní UK kò ní kó wá help ẹ láti sanwó school because òun náà ní bills tó ń san every month. Gbogbo owó kékèké táwọn èèyàn kan yọ tó fi ń support ara wọn àtẹ̀yìn tẹ̀wọ̀n nílé àtàwátàwà ń bíbà. It's just part of the little that is left. Very, very little. Tó bá tẹ̀ ní surplus, ṣé gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ló máa ná síta? And this is why we are saying that the diaspora is now about 70% going through what we call mental problem. Because pressure ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé ó ti ń affect àwa tá wà nílùú òyìnbó. So ẹ̀yin tẹ́ dẹ̀ ń dé láti wá kàwé. So I mean I got a call some few weeks back. Wọ́n ní Mr. Koiki tẹ́ bá ráhùn tó lè yà wá lówó, bá ráhùn tó lè support wa ká fi sanwó school torí a fẹ́ ṣe renewal pẹ̀lú home office. Ẹ̀yin lẹ rí ọ̀nà kẹ́ tó kúrò Nàìjíríà pé fẹ́ wá kàwé. But I'm sure pé bóyá wọ́n ṣàlàyé gbogbo ilé fún yín. Like I said, it's entirely up to everybody that wants to come here, but you must understand that it is not all that rosy. According to economic crash in Nigeria, has now left international students from Nigeria, Nigerians struggling to afford tuition fees, with some at the Teesside University. Níbo ló ń pè ní Teesside University? Ara university tó máa ń tà fún yín àwọn agent yín tó máa ń bá yín ṣe student visa ní Nàìjíríà. Ara university tó ń sọ pé ẹ wá kàwé lọ́dọ̀ wa bọ̀ kò mọ̀ pé Nàìjíríà ò kì í ṣe country tó lè sustain, that can survive, that can help you to make sure that when you are coming here to study, you would not have too much problem. Tó bá lọ wo gbogbo university oríṣi wọ́n máa promote gbogbo oríṣiríṣi nǹkan fún ẹ, but at the end of the day kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn ni wọ́n ń pè fún. It has to be for only little. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ wo fídíò yẹn. So I'm going to mute my mic. So these are some of the intro advert tó máa polówó fún ẹ pé ọmọ university yẹn ó wà okay gan bla 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 blow blow blow, but at the end of the day it's going to cost you money. It is not free. And gbogbo eléyìí làwa ṣe ń sọ pé a lè continue by kó o lè work. So let's watch the video and make my. And even do my own voiceover. So what you're watching right now is just part of the University of Teesside University, one of their campuses. Yes, it's very good. It looks very, one of the environment, one ṣe media, one ṣe journalism, one ṣe, 3 modern, everything you can think of. This is the kind of university that pay improve lórí, especially the 4 major universities, Lagos, Ibadan, àti Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ àti Ìlọrin. Àwa náà ní ilẹ̀ to make sure that all those universities are top notch. Tó bá tẹ̀ pé wá kàwé níbi ìbá jẹ́ pé you are just coming here for a course that to come out ṣe under 1 year part exchange. They have a library here. You can see their library. This is what Baba Awólọ́wọ̀ wanted, and this is what Baba Akintoye is now fighting to complete. Not the muddy water táwọn ọmọ ti ń kàwé. Tabade ń sọ gbogbo eléyìí, ó máa ń dàbí ìgbà tó jẹ́ pé some of us are not considering that this is the future. This is what you're looking at. This is the university táwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà pọ̀ sí tí wọ́n sọ pé kọ́ máa lọ́lé pé wọ́n lè afford their money sí. They came, yes, about 2 years ago, some of them probably 1 year ago. Engineering and forensic student, ẹ wo lab wọn. Tó bá pààyàn, you need forensic. Nàìjíríà ló máa pààyàn, lè máa rí pé wọ́n ní wọ́n glove, wọ́n kọ́ máa ṣe gbé báṣabàṣa. Gbogbo university tá à ń wò yìí, it can be also designed in Yoruba land, but Nigeria nísìnyí is only providing you 7% in educational budget, accommodation lélẹ̀. Ṣé wo náà wàá rí eléyìí nísìnyí tó máa present eléyìí fún ní Nàìjíríà nísìnyí, òní ò fẹ́ wá kàwé níbí báyìí, but tó bá máa fi factor 40 million naira tó bá lè afford it. So gym and sport fitness facility, kò sẹ́ni tó máa ríru building definitely tó máa ríru a conducive environment tó ní pé kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà kò fi wá kàwé sí. But this can be replicated. Wo football ground yìí ó dájú National Stadium àti Abuja Stadium òwò náà wò ní sìn then padà sẹ́yìn díẹ̀ wo stadium yẹn. Just look at this is a university football pitch. Wo standard kódà bó tẹ̀ ṣe rí nínú image báyìí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lórí tó bá débẹ̀. Gbogbo aláwo Real Madrid àti Borussia Dortmund 90,000 people ló wà nínú Wembley Stadium. Ẹ̀kọ́ multiply an average of basic owó tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì ìjọ yẹn ká tẹ̀ sọ pé £300 ó dẹ̀ máa jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ẹ multiply it by 90,000 pounds. Kò tí sówó hotel, kò tí sówó this, kò tí sówó that. Kí ló dé tó ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ́tẹ́ takú sínú Nàìjíríà? Ìyẹn ló máa ń ṣe consider wa tó máa ń wonder pé ṣé ìkọ̀kan rán pẹ̀lú wa ṣá? Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo fídíò yẹn délẹ̀ sí. Gbogbo eléyìí social science, humanity, law, business students spend their time here at Clarendon. Wọ́n ti wá ṣe gbogbo building yẹn student life building. But unfortunately, àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà ò lè afford ẹ̀ mọ́ because exchange rate ti affect wọn tó bá tẹ̀ fi ṣẹ́wó wá láti ilé. This is the business school. All this then read will also mean that it has to be maintained to the highest standard. If truly Yoruba people ẹwà accommodation kẹwàá compare accommodation yìí kí a bá lọ wo ẹ rántí àwọn accommodation tá a máa ń rí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí MixLR. I can tell you now that we are live on the MixLR. If you want to join that platform, it will be good for you. You can do so right now. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo student accommodation. Nigeria University. Well, the private university as well, it is not up to standard. If you can check I'm sure you all remember some of those student accommodation in Nigeria University. I'm not talking about private university. Wrong. Pros and cons of staying off the campus, not that one. Alright, I think I'll rephrase it. Nigeria students, residents, maybe something will pop up. Let's have a look. Nigeria university students. So, you know what? Don't live in denial that Nigeria will change. Nothing is going to change in Nigeria. All right, can't find anything. So, nothing is going to change. I'm sure some of you that have studied, I didn't study in the university in Nigeria, but I'm sure a lot of you knows that the lifestyle, the accommodation, they are not up to standard. We've seen those videos before, even if we don't have them to show you today. We've seen the dilapidated, not all of them, but majority of them, especially the federal government in fund. Student hostels. Maybe that will bring something up. Nigeria. We've seen the Unilag. We've seen the àìmọye àwọn tí wọ́n máa ń pọ̀ nínú ilé. You can look at it. Bó ṣe wà lélẹ́yìn kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n make it up o. These are true images. And I think let's open this up. Lions Den, man shocked by Saudi state of University of Nigeria hostel. An ex-user, Justice, who identified as Lord Justice N on X, has expressed dismay over the deplorable state of hostels at the Eni Njoko hostel in the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. Justice disclosed that he had visited the hostel to inspect the room his cousin was assigned to, only to be met with appalling conditions. Sharing a video he wrote, "My cousin is supposed to resume school at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. He paid for the hostel. I went there today to check it out. A wogugu mess." This is meant to be a student accommodation. And when we are here saying that kò jẹ́ kó rí báyìí, some of you are also defending the current state of that contraction called Nigeria. And look at it. Look at it. Ẹ wo gbogbo ẹ̀. Kódà ilé ikú gan gbọ́dọ̀ rí báyìí. But at the end of the day, some of us want to come and study abroad in this very beautiful environment, but it will cost you a lot of money. If you have it, that is fine. But how many people only afford it? Láti ilé, gbogbo ilé làwa ṣe pariwo pé ìrìn àjò Yorùbá nation, ọ̀nà àbáyọ ni pé kólúkálukú kó máa lọ. Èyí tá a ṣe ti tó. So let's come back again. We are not knocking the Nigerian students that are here struggling. It is not your fault. But are you still one of those students to tún support in Nigeria? Are you one of those Nigerian students that Japa got here, saw the system here, and you are still supporting that? Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kí Nigeria náà dà bẹ́ẹ̀. Stop calling God to such, because Ọlọ́run ò lè jẹ́ kí Nigeria dàbí university tó wà níbí báyìí. You are telling lies. Mo kí bàbá mi, brother mi, Sharif Alabi. But what are we going to do? How do we act? Things is terrible. Well, you would have to wait for instructions. The acting of what we do and what not to do is all to do with our leaders. So you know what? as I say all the time, there is still room for every Yoruba to support the self-determination campaign so that we can easily pull out of Nigeria. Let's watch this and I come back again in just about a few minutes.
That's all. But there seems to be some confusion in Yoruba land. I see that maybe perhaps the generality of the people do not feel as passionate about self-determination. And secondly, there is all kinds of positions. Afenifere is talking about restructuring. You are talking about self-determination.
You don't know this. You don't know the nature of the Yoruba society. You don't. Most of the young people, and they are the majority in Yoruba land, want the self-determination of their Yoruba nation. That's the truth of the matter. That's what is keeping the movement going. And they are also doing so in the diaspora. Yoruba young men and women all over the world want their own country, separate from Nigeria. You cannot deny that. No matter how much you want to pander to the government, you cannot deny that. But that's the truth.
But anyway,
the important thing, however, and I'm surprised that you are not talking about that, is that the Yoruba people who are fighting for self-determination are telling the world and telling themselves that they will do it only peacefully. We are Yoruba. We know our status in the world. We know our status in the black world. We do not want to destroy the peace of Nigeria, and we do not want to bring difficulty into the lives of any other group in Nigeria. But we want to get out of Nigeria. That's it.
Well, Prof, you were a strong member.
And you're not talking about that. You are asking me questions. You are asking me questions as if what Onitiri did has the support of the majority of Yoruba people who want self-determination. It is not true.
Well, Prof,
she has a small minority of a section that is ready to do illegalities. A year ago, they went and attacked a radio station in Ibadan, and so on. Now this year, they are attacking the entire government of Ibadan, and so on. No, but we have never sent anybody to go and do that, and we do not support it or encourage it.
Prof,
and we think it is criminal.
Prof,
and so if they get punished for their criminality, we have no objection to that.
Prof, you are a strong member.
You cannot, because of them, generalize opposition to self-determination. You cannot.
Well, Prof, you are a strong member of the Unity Party of Nigeria, also a very strong member of Afenifere. Afenifere is talking about restructuring. You are now talking about self-determination. What is the difference, in these two ideological positions?
Our fathers in Afenifere are doing the right thing, talking about restructuring, so that we can go back and live our own life the way we used to live it prosperously. They're doing the right thing. There is nothing wrong with that. But we, another group of people, larger in number than they, are now saying, no, self-determination is the answer, not restructuring. Why? Because when you restructure, you are still in Nigeria. The people who are coming and disrupting your life and destroying your farms and killing your women and raping your mothers and daughters and so on are still Nigerians. They still have a right to come to Nigeria. The only final solution to that is to separate, so that you have a separate Yoruba country where we can make our own laws and so on, to which we admit only people we want to admit. So nobody can claim that they have a right to come to our land. They don't have such a. But as long as we are in Nigeria, no matter what restructuring is done, they still have the right to come to our land and do the things that we are doing. Nobody is talking about the fact that most Yoruba farmers have been driven from their farms I am not hearing that. I'm hearing only about government. I'm not hearing about people. You are not talking about the fact that most Yoruba farmers have been driven from their farms and that the Yoruba nation is in danger of famine upon famine upon famine for years and years to come. You are not talking of the fact that the Fulani declared war on Nigeria on the 24th of January and 26th of January and said that Tinubu is not our president. We are going to Aso Rock. We will take over the seat of government there, and we will use this place to organize the conquest of the rest of Nigeria. You're not talking about that. You are not talking of people who said no Fulani man must be arrested for the bomb in Ibadan. If you do, you will have bombs in every town in Yoruba in Nigeria. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the sheer insult of living in a country where some people are treating the government like that. You are talking about Onitiri and so on. Why do our...
Well, Prof, let me ask you this. Self-determination that you recommend.
You are entitled to your opinion. You are entitled to your opinion, but what I'm saying is that your opinion rigorously avoids the truth. Rigorously.
But Prof,
avoids the truth.
Nigeria, as Onigo Tite told us in his research on ethnic nationalities in Nigeria, has over 300 ethnic nationalities. Will you recommend self-determination to all the other ethnic nationalities in Nigeria? For all these nationalities to break away?
Those who want it, don't ask me a general question. I'm asking for self-determination for a nation, the Yoruba nation. There are about 60 million people in Nigeria. And their territory is large enough to be a large country. So that's what I'm talking about. Any other nationality in Nigeria that wants self-determination is free to ask for it. I cannot come and ask for self-determination for nations that are not mine. No.
Well, Prof, as we have...
Well, that is a leader that understands, the plight of the people. That is a leader that saw the vision that the Yoruba people should have no business in today's Nigeria. But argument táwọn tó support Nigeria and sọ fún wa ni pé it is fine to remain poor in Nigeria and try to fix it. There's nothing wrong to have a bad leader when you don't even need to be in that system where everybody is trying to cut themselves who becomes the leader through the fraudulent system that was set up in favor by the fraudulent 1914 amalgamation. Awolowo wanted the best. He knew that the British would not allow him to give us exactly what he wanted. He tried his best. It is entirely up to us, àwa ìran tá wà lẹ́nìí, to make sure that whatever your hopes, because some of you that wants to come to UK, I've just proved to you that there's nothing bad in coming to UK, but UK also have its own issues. What we can be thinking of today, what we should be fighting for today, is what this man wanted us to fight for.
Tí wọ́n ní iṣẹ́ dáadáa lọ́wọ́ tó jẹ́ pé inú wa sì dùn wípé Ọlọ́run bùkún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ti bá ọkàn wọn dá májẹ̀mú wípé ní agbára Ọlọ́run by 2000 AD òmìnira máa dé fúnlẹ̀ káàrọ̀ òmìnira. Èmi sì mọ̀ dájú wípé Ọlọ́run Oòduà, Ọlọ́run Ọ̀rànmíyàn, Ọlọ́run Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀, Ọlọ́run Adékúnlé Ajáṣin á mú wa dé ilẹ̀ tuntun náà níbi tí ẹ̀gbin ìyà àti ìrẹ́jẹ kò ní sí fún ọmọ káàárọ̀ òjíire mọ́. Tàbá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ilẹ̀ ìlérí tí a fẹ́ lọ yìí. Àwọn tí ọ̀rọ̀ òye wọ́n máa kù bí egbére. Lójú àwọn egbére tí mò ń wí, ó dàbí ẹni pé ohun ẹ̀yẹ ni kí ènìyàn máa wà nínú ẹ̀gbin, nínú ìyà, nínú ìrẹ́jẹ. A bá sì fojú wo kì í ṣe àwọn Yorùbá nìkan ni ìyà ń jẹ ní Nàìjíríà. Bí Yorùbá ti bọ̀ wọ́n ní àrùn tó ń ṣe ojì náà ló ń ṣọ̀ọ́dún. Ohun tó ń ṣe Abọ́yadé ń kọ́ o. Ìyà tó ń jẹ Ṣógbẹ̀yìn l'Abẹ́òkúta ń kọ́. Òun náà ló ń jẹ Súlè ní Kòńtàgó. Èmi tó bá pa bàbá Búwà ní Adó-Èkìtì kọ́ tí ó yàtọ̀ sí èyí tó pa Ìkejùkù ní Abakaliki. Nígbà tí mo sọ Ìkejùkù ní ìsìn wá rántí tí wọ́n láyé ló jẹ́ kí rántí o. Nígbà tí a wà ní Òbúgà ẹ̀yin náà àti gbọ́ olóyè Akíntọ́lá ló ń pè ọ́gà ní Òbúgà. Ó wá polongo ẹgbẹ́ NNDP lẹ́sà òkè ló ń bí ọjà wa akẹ́ tó bá ti kọjá ẹ̀sà wípé ẹ̀ lọ sókè lẹ́sìn. Ilé àwọn Ìkejùkù ló. Ìjẹ́bọ̀ àwọn aláìṣẹ́ action group àti NCNC àwa ni ọgbà àgbà yẹn. Ló bá kúkú mú ìgè àti túkú ló bá pa pọ̀. Mi mọ̀ bóyá Bọ́lájí wà ní. Tí Bọ́lájí bá wà ní kó gbọ́ ilé yìí o torí tó bá di ọ̀rẹ́ mi á sọ fún ẹ. Chief Akintoye ó lọ sí òde. Ló wá ní wọ́n máa sọ. Men of integrity, men of integrity. Men àwọn kan wà ní tí wọ́n integrity o. Wọ́n á ti ṣe òfin gbọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n yẹn, Àkúrẹ́ ìlú àwọn olú àti fásọ̀rọ̀ ti lélé ìtúsẹ̀lẹ̀ mú. Chief Akintoye ló ṣe campaign. Gbogbo ẹni ọmọ òsì kò náwó sókè o. Gbogbo wọn náwó sókè. Gbogbo ẹni ọmọ òsì kò náwó sókè. Gbogbo wọn. Ọwọ́ ni mo ti ń bọ̀ ní mo rẹ̀ ní ajá sí.
And may so continue to rest in peace. Bí a ti ṣe ń bá ètò yẹn lọ nínú ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ti ọ̀sán yìí ni pé ìran Yorùbá àti Nàìjíríà kò ní nǹkan kan tó jọra wọn. À ń sọ fún wa ní gbogbo ìgbà pé Nàìjíríà ó ń hold the destiny wa látara passport, látara interface sọ pé à ń identify ara wa as Nigerians, and the more tá bá identify ara wa as Nigerians ó máa ṣe àkóbá àti àdábá fún wa. Whether you are rich, whether you are educated up to PhD, you will all be affected. The next video, we talked about it in the morning, but we couldn't show it. We just played the soundtrack. This time around, I will play the video so that we can be able to ask ourselves that can we truly continue in this direction, or should we say enough is enough? Àtẹni tó kàwé láàrin wa, you will be affected when you traveled out of Nigeria. Ẹni tó kàwé láàrin wa, you will be affected while you are in Nigeria, because that word Nigeria has become a demonic to affect gbogbo wa after Lugard and Flora Shaw decided on behalf of the British to create this entity that has brought us to where we are today. We have the room, we have the opportunity to stop it. But as long as a lot of you are in denial that you don't want it to stop, it will affect you, it will affect me, it will affect every single one of us, because that fraudulent amalgamation that the British put together is the major factor, is the major reason why we are all struggling as Yoruba people. Once again, thank you so much, Peter Pan. I think they eliminated this our Baba because of this message. How I wish this Baba, that is the late Uncle Bola Ige, is around now. The Alale of Yoruba land, Agbesun fún Baba yìí. May his soul continue to rest in peace. Mokiyami Olushola Fatuashe. Like I said, gbogbo wa pátápátá, we have been badly affected. Mokiyawa Idris Abimbola Olami Arowole Mokiyi. We have been badly affected. Mokiyente ṣe darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí Mixlr. Let's watch the next video and you will see the pain ní ara bàbá yìí pé kí la ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wógún ńlá ṣe to warrant this very sad situation tó fi di pé ẹni tó lówó tó lè afford láti travel àtẹni tó lówó, everybody has been put in the same bracket because nobody knows who you are. Because the longer tó bá ṣì ń lo Nigerian passport, like many of us that are still using the Nigerian passport, because some of us don't have the British and American passport, and you tell me you're lucky to have it. But the majority of us that still travel with the Nigerian passport, this is what we go through. I have experienced it multiple times, even before Yoruba Nation. The moment you travel with the Nigerian passport, you will likely to go through a lot. Mokiyawa Mofoluwake Ekabo sórí ètò náà. This means that ẹni tó lówó àti ẹni tó lówó, you will be affected by the word or the name coined by Lugard. Because what we are all saying is that we will continue to represent Lugard as long as you want Nigeria to be kept. So for many Nigerians that wants to hold on to Nigeria, but you want us to throw away the history of the 13,000 years plus of the Yoruba people and work with the Nigeria that has only been created, that is not even up to some of our great-grandfathers. Àwọn bàbá wa kọ̀ọ̀kan dàgbà ju Nigeria lọ torí Ọlọ́run fún wọn lẹ́mìí gúngùn. Some of them spend up to 120 years. Why then ta ṣe ń force ara wa in Nigeria? Oh, Koiki, don't worry about that. Gbogbo ìgbà yẹn ti lọ. No, kò tí lọ. The British, the all other part of the world still want to hold on to their own perspective. And I might be able to show us the video Timothy ń tọ́jú bọ̀ láti jọ ẹ̀. But ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ the next video tí mo fẹ́ play. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ wo video tí mo fẹ́ fi wọ̀n wáyìí. Ara àgbà wa yìí, he traveled to a man on a pilgrimage, and on their way they had a stopover níbi tán pè ní Cairo. But ẹ mọ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wọn, ẹ má yẹ kí n sọ fún yín, ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́. Mo kí bàbá mi Sun Odu, a jọ wà lórí ètò ní nídàájí. Wọ́n kúkú ti wá di mẹ́mbà wa pé Koiki, bàbá ṣì ń fún ẹ ní $3, $2. I know some of you is like, why should we support him? Kí ló dé tá a gbọ́dọ̀ support Koiki? Iṣẹ́ wo ló ń ṣe tẹ́nìkan ṣe rí? I understand. But the fact that some of you appreciate what we are doing, it is what keeps us going. Whether through the financial support or through the ẹlòmíì àpọ̀ ìyá jagun kò send audio lásán sí mi láàárọ̀ ó jẹ́ kó rí mi kó wú. Kò ṣe pé wọ́n fún mi lówó bọ̀ wọ́n fi àdúrà ránṣẹ́ sí mi. Because àwọn kan àdúrà tẹ́ ń gbà ni pé kó lè mú ohun yìí lọ kóhun yẹn lè máa ta síta ohun yẹn dẹ̀ máa gbọ́dọ̀ jáde torí òun ni lifeline wa pẹ̀lú àwọn tó kù. Èmi sọ fún yín pé èmi ò níbi kankan tèmi lọ. I have served the British for 20 years. Mo ti serve wọn ní gbogbo ọ̀nà. Mo ì tí ì ṣe 5 years kí lẹ ń bínú sí Koiki fún. Kí ni mo ṣe? Ṣé òun nìkan ni? Mo sọ pé mi nìkan o. And I've told you that I am not the best. But níwọ̀nba ọba tẹ́lẹ̀dùmarè fún èmi ní kékeré orí màá gbìyànjú. Tí mo tún mọ kọ̀ǹpútà lò tí mo dẹ̀ lè sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá mi lè má sound dáadáa but òyìnbó yẹn màá máa jù mọ́ láàrin and I know what to say. Mo mọ bí tí mo lè sọ̀rọ̀ dé tọ́lọ́pàá lè wọnú ilé láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ àbí lọ́sàn-án. Mo mọ̀ òfin ìlú yìí náà but lórí self determination tá a gbé dání it's a right ẹ̀tọ́ ní kò ń ṣe àní kò ń ṣe pé à ń bínú síyàn kankan mo ní àbá ní kankan jà kí ni ṣé mo sọ pé mo bá yàn jà ni. Ibi òun ṣe tiẹ̀ pẹ̀lú APC mi ṣe tèmi pẹ̀lú Yorùbá nation lábẹ́ bàbá Akintoye kò mú jà dání àmọ́ ṣé in táwọn ọmọ tiẹ̀ ń enjoy ní UK ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lọ ṣe ń enjoy ẹ̀ ní abúlé yín ṣé kò jẹ́ kábúlé ti dìlú. Mo kíyà mi Ìrètí ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò mo kíyà mi Ọlájíre Kókà mo ní mi ò ní give up. So if that is what is creating some of you to feel that so náà ní gbọ́ ni àwa náà ní gbà fún ẹ àjọ máa mú kan lẹ̀ ní kọta Yorùbá nation àjọ máa mú kan lẹ̀ gidi ni kò èmi ò dẹnu pé mo ní kankan bọ̀ mo gbójúlé ọba Elédùmarè àti Jésù Kristi àti ànábì Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam bọ̀ lórí Yorùbá nation yìí àjọ máa mú kan lẹ̀ dé nílẹ̀ ni o lórí Yorùbá nation yìí a máa mú kan lẹ̀ gidi nítorí pé ẹnu tẹ́mi fi ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí ó máa dún ta lójoojúmọ́ báyìí tí wọ́n bá ti sùn yẹn ìgbà ilẹ̀ mímọ́ àdìde ìgbà ilẹ̀ mímọ́ máa jí èmi pé Koiki dìde lọ sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn kan tó rí mi lóru wọn ní Koiki ò sùn ni ìgbà tẹ́yìn rò pé mo ò sùn yẹn mi ti sùn because our people needs to be liberated from the shackles of the demons tó kó wa sínú ẹ̀ because kò ń ṣe àwọn tó wà Nàìjíríà nìkan là ń bá tayò àwọn tó wà níta tó jẹ́ àgbáyé àwọn gbogbo ní demons tó fẹ́ jẹ́ ká lọ tó fẹ́ ká máa wá ní 44,000 Nigerians kó wá kàwé ní UK ṣé UK yẹn wá gẹ́gẹ́ bí kíni I prefer pé kí n lọ kàwé ní north tó bá yẹ pé north wà secure tó dẹ̀ máa fún mi ní quality education mo prefer kí n lọ kàwé nílẹ̀ Igbo tó bá máa fún mi ní quality education ṣé dandan ni ká gbọ́dọ̀ wá sí UK ni ẹ jẹ́ ká mú kan lẹ̀ náà a dẹ̀ ń sọ fún yín pé kò jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ wá ń takò wá pé nítorí ta gbé dání ẹ wá èmi ò ní gbà fún yín o mo ń sọ fún yín nísìnyí èmi ò ní gbà o ẹlòmíì lè sọ pé wọn ò ṣe mọ́ láyé kò ní jáde lẹ́nu mi kí n sọ pé ó sú mi mo ti gbọ́ táwọn kan ti sọ pé mo àníṣe mọ́ kò ń ṣe lẹ́nu ti KOIKIMEDIA kí ni màá ná sú mi fún ibi ìbàdàn gangan ló ti sú mi ìwọ máa bọ̀ ó ti sú èmi I've lived there for enough time to have returned back home kí ló máa ṣe services fúnlẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá not Nigeria ó pè mí kí máa gbé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kí máa ṣe the listing tí mo mọ̀ pé màá ní fọkànbalẹ̀ bọ̀ ṣé mo lè wá sí máa gbé nísìn pẹ̀lú gbogbo ilé tá à ń ṣe níbí báyìí ṣé àwọn wọ́n ní humanity ní Nàìjíríà yẹn ṣé humanity wà Nàìjíríà kò sí humanity ní Nàìjíríà náà gbogbo wa lámọ̀ yẹn náà why are we living in denial ṣé humanity wà Nàìjíríà kò sí integrity kankan nínú Nàìjíríà corruption ló wà níbẹ̀ tó bá dẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ ọba kan ló ní kó àwọn tọ́gẹ̀ lọ na woman kan ó wà nínú right up táwọn ọmọ mi kan náà tó oyún bàjẹ́ nínú ẹ̀ ẹ wá nípa Ọlọ́run máa ṣàánú Nàìjíríà Ọlọ́run ò ní ṣàánú Nàìjíríà o lọ́rọ̀ táwọn bá lọ yìí Ọlọ́run ò ní ṣàánú Nàìjíríà gbọ́dọ̀ pín ni kò sí bá balẹ̀ ní tó ní sọ pé kò ní pín ó gbọ́dọ̀ pín ni báwo ni wọ́n ṣe máa nà lóyún tó ní jábọ́lá rẹ̀ ẹ wá ní kọ́lọ́run kó ṣe dáadáa sí Nàìjíríà Ọlọ́run ò ní ṣe dáadáa sí Nàìjíríà gbogbo pásítọ̀ tó bá ń gbàdúrà pé kọ́lọ́run ṣe dáadáa sí Nàìjíríà Ọlọ́run ò ní dá yín lóhùn mọ́ àdúrà yóò ní gbà mọ́ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè gbogbo ẹni tó bá ń sọ pé Nàìjíríà ti máa exist Ọlọ́run ní gbàdúrà yín mọ́ nítorí pé ìkàlẹ̀ ń ṣe. How can 44,000 students kó wá láti Nàìjíríà kó wá máa náwó sí ìlú yìí kí ni ìlú yìí ní tí táwọn ní. Wọ́n ti ní kí n má bú yín mọ́ wọn ní kí n má gbóhùn sókè torí ó yẹ kí n máa fi èpè lé yín lórí ni. Evil people, evil ní gbogbo yín, ìkà ni yín. Ìwọ ń gbádùn nílùú òyìnbó oníkàwọn kan máa gbàdúrà sí Jésù Kristi. You are evil nìyẹn, ìkà nìyẹn. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ máa dájọ́ fún gbogbo wa. Gbogbo wa pátápátá lọ́lọ́ máa dájọ́ fún. Tó bá jẹ́ pé àwa là ń ṣe bí ni pé kí ìran Yorùbá kó dúró àbẹ́yìn là ń ṣe bí ni Ọlọ́run ṣe dájọ́ fún gbogbo wa. Gbogbo wa pátá lọ́lọ́ máa ti dájọ́ fún. Ó kù díẹ̀. Mo ní ó kù díẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ kí bàbá Akintoye máa tó lọ. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni mo sọ fún yín. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni mo sọ fún yín. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni mo sọ fún gbogbo yín. Ọlọ́run àbá alọ́rẹ̀ Ìgbòho alọ́rẹ̀ ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ alọ́rẹ̀ ẹ̀mí gbogbo wa. Ẹlẹ́dẹ̀ apariwo àdọ́yọ̀ àdébi tá à ń lọ lágbára Jésù Kristi. Mo sọ fún yín èmi ò ń ṣe gbogbo àwọn mídíà tó kú o. Mo ń bọ̀ nílé ni mo sọ fún yín. Ifá ò tí confam, babaláwo ò tí confam, Jésù ò tí confam, ànábì ò tí confam. Tó bá confam mo ń bọ̀ nílé kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ máa ṣe èmi àti Ìgbòho ń bọ̀ nílé. Kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ máa ṣe fún gbogbo wa. Ilẹ̀ wa ní àwa lá nílẹ̀. Kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ máa ṣe fún gbogbo wa. Ẹ̀yin dẹ̀ lẹ máa kú, àwa máa yè. Ẹ̀yin lẹ máa kú, àwa máa yè. Torí ìkànnì yín, ìkànnì gbogbo ẹ̀yin olóṣèlú. Ìkànnì yín mo rí dínà tó ń ṣe yàfàlà ní Dubai. Ṣé owó ẹ̀ ló fi ń ṣe yàfàlà yẹn ní Dubai? Àwọn ọmọ Kogi ẹ̀dẹ̀ máa gbé mi. Ṣé owó dínà màláyè ló fi ń ṣe yàfàlà ní Dubai? Tó ń gun Rolls Royce tó tẹ̀ sí wa lójú. Àwọn workers nìyẹn nísìn ẹ̀ ń sọ 33,000 fún wọn. Owó kíni? Owó ẹ̀kọ́ àbí owó mọ́ínmọ́ín? Evil ẹ máa ṣe patí ẹ̀ ń tẹ̀ sí wa lójú. Ó kù díẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ń dé mọ́bẹ̀. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni mo sọ. Díẹ̀ ló kù. Díẹ̀ yẹn lè tó ọdún kan ó lè má tó bẹ́ẹ̀. Bọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń bẹ nílẹ̀ yìí àwọn oníṣẹ́ àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re mo ti sọ fún yín. Àwọn kì í ṣe Afẹ́nifẹ́re self-determination lábẹ́ bàbá Akintoye lágbẹ́dání. We are not Afẹ́nifẹ́re, we are self-determination. Ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni ẹgbọ́n fídíò tí mo fẹ́ play ẹ sunkún bàbá tó lówó tó wá ń disrespect ní Cairo. Tẹ bá dẹ̀ sọ fún bàbá yìí pé ẹ wá jẹ́ ká jọ mú Yorùbá nation dání wọ́n á ní bí a Jésù ní ká máa ti sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀. Ẹ wo bó ṣe disrespect bàbá yìí ẹ jẹ́ àjọ gbọ́ fídíò yẹn mò ń bọ̀.
If you are a traveler who carries a Nigerian passport, or if you have someone close to you who travels with a Nigerian passport, I had a very traumatic experience at Cairo International Airport recently on April 30, 2024, and I need to share this with you. I'm Reverend Dr. Israel Christlery, the senior pastor of Shepherd Baptist Church, Obanikoro, Lagos, Nigeria, the CEO of Oasis of Faith Intercontinental Limited, that is a private Christian pilgrimage company, and the president of Christian Tourism Practitioners Association of Nigeria. I left Lagos for Amman through Egypt Airlines with a group of 28 pilgrims, and we had a stopover for 4 hours in Cairo before we boarded the second leg from Cairo to Amman. I took all my pilgrims to our connecting gate, H2, around 9 p.m. And having said to 26 of them there, myself and another woman who were on the trip, who are flying business class, left for the business class lounge. We were in that lounge until 1 hour before our next flight. When I told her to let us go back to the gate, since I saw the notification that the gate of our connecting flight was open. When we arrived, I saw the pilgrims seated and not going through the gate security checks. I asked them why, and they replied that they tried to, but were asked to go back and sit down and allow others to go through the check first. I then went to the counter and asked a young man I saw there if they were not attending to Amman passengers yet. And he confirmed that they were already doing that. So I told all the pilgrims to rise up and let us go through the gate formalities to board our next flight. As we lined up to go through the formalities, I saw some policemen and some airport staff discussing, talking together. I wonder what they were talking about. And Initially, I thought it was about our documentation or visas that they wanted to confirm. After a little time, I was told to step aside and allow others to go through the security check. At that time, I knew we could do our own security check easily. That means myself and the other woman. So I told her to wait for me while others can go through their security check. So policemen then asked me to follow them to their office. At this time, I still assumed it had to do with our documentation. So I brought all the documents relating to our trip and asked the woman to wait until I returned to the gate. They then took me to the office of the head of the police of the airport, and 3 police officers entered with me while about 12 others were outside looking at us through the door, which was left open. Then the chief police officer asked me if I knew what offense I had committed. I wondered what the offense was and replied I had not committed any offense. Then they brought a man in as an interpreter who told me in English language that a lady had just accused me of sexual assault and the punishment was jail and I should be ready to go to jail. My first comments were, who, where, when, and how? Then they pointed to a lady who decided to hide her face behind another lady. When I tried to look at her direction, I told the interpreter I had never seen the lady talk less of talking with her. The police chief then said, in our country, we believe the word of any woman as true. And that means with or without evidence, you are guilty. He then said there was a video evidence. When I heard that there was a video evidence, I was relieved and I requested for the video evidence. The letter said there was no need for video evidence because it will make me miss my flight unless I agreed to their offered solution. I made it clear that if they had any video evidence, they would not find me there. For I had been at the business class lounge for 3 hours and I had an alibi among my pilgrims who was there with me in the lounge till we left for the gate. Then they said there was a witness, and immediately a young man came forward who stated that he was a witness to the assault. I asked him where and when, but there was no answer. The police chief then said that since there was a witness, I could only go if I accepted the solution he will offer. I asked what was the solution. He then said, I must apologize to the lady in a way that she will accept. I then asked, how do I apologize for what I had not done? He insisted that if I did not apologize, I shall be charged to court. I then tried to look in the direction of the lady, who was still hiding her face behind another lady, and said, lady, I have never met you. I have no idea of what you are talking about, but possibly someone else has attacked you and you mistook me for the person. Nevertheless, sorry to you if you're offended. Anyway, but let it be known that I have no idea of what you are saying. The police chief then turned to a man who was said to be her boss if my apology was accepted, and he said it was okay. The police chief then said I should follow him to another office and leave my hand luggage behind. I objected to that idea by saying I cannot leave my bag behind because the rule of every airport is that passengers must always be with their luggage. I cannot leave my luggage behind. Around this time, I began to discern that they were up to something. They were trying to look for every means to set me up. When we got to the other office, I was asked to wait outside. When the police chief and other officers entered, at this time, I told myself that if these people succeeded, there was no way to free myself. I was totally isolated from my pilgrims, who were supposed to be boarding the next flight. And I could not understand their conversation, which they were making in Arabic. I then picked up my phone, pressed the record button, and kept the phone back in my pocket. At least that will be my only evidence in the future. After a while, I was invited into the office and I was asked to come and sign a document they had prepared in Arabic. I refused to sign because I told them I did not know what they had written. That would be stupid of me as an educated person.
That would be stupid of him as an educated person. Sherry ọ̀rọ̀ Nigeria, it will have big impact on the lives of èmi, ẹ̀yin. Ẹ máa sọ pé kí ló ń mú relé tó ń ṣe báyìí. Ṣẹ̀gbọ́n tí bàbá yìí sọ. Ẹ máa sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation náà ló mú ẹ nígbàyà báyìí. Ẹ̀gbọ́n tí bàbá yìí sọ pé òun tóun ní PhD, òun á wá tọwọ́ bọ in tóun ò lè understand in tẹkọ sínú pépà. Kò ṣe pé bàbá yìí kò lówó lọ́wọ́, owó ẹ̀ nísìnyí ó tún wá ń fún ní problem nígbà tó dé Cairo látara pé wọ́n níyàn kan fẹ̀sùn kàn. Mo kí ìyàwó Adiat Ọ̀dẹ́wálé ní gbogbo ìlú Àjà, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò wa, ìyàwó Àjọkẹ́ Tómísìn. Mo kí gbogbo èèyàn wa. You can see the pain. Ẹ rò pé mi nìkan ni mò ń ní pain, bàbá yìí ní pain jù èmi lọ nísìn látara pé ó travel, wọ́n wá fi ẹ̀sùn kàn, wọ́n wá ní kó tọwọ́ bọ̀wé after he has apologized. When we are here tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀, it's good that pé bàbá yìí ló ṣe fídíò fún rẹ̀, kò sẹ́ni kankan tó kúkú lọ bá pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀. He wanted me and you láti lè ní experience. I don't hope and I don't think that he would ever travel that airline anymore because that airline is no longer worth traveling with. Don't pè ní Egypt Air. Ẹ kàn imagine tó bá jẹ́ pé this man is traveling on his own. He was traveling with 28 other people. Ìtòkórí ẹ̀yọ nìyẹn. And this is why we are concerned. I got the final part to put. Just a little bit, then we move on to the.
They said, if I did not sign, I will go to jail. They said it does not matter, that what they actually wrote was just a settlement. And I still said no. To the glory of God, I have spent over 25 years of my life studying up to PhD level.
Did you hear that? 25 years ló ti fi kàwé up to PhD. Àwọn tó jẹ́ àwọn àràbò burúkú tó yẹ pé they are so wicked, especially gbogbo àwọn ọ̀nà ìlú yẹn. Wọ́n wá ní kí ẹni tó ní PhD tó ti ń travel tó mọ understanding consequence pé n tó pé sign tó mọ̀. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ pé ta ló sign ní amalgamation. Ṣẹ̀rí pé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn link ara wọn. Àwọn wo ló sign this fraudulent amalgamation tó kó wa sínú yọ́yọ́ àti inú ìdààmú tá fi ń pariwo mọ́ra wa báyìí? Who are those behind the fraudulent amalgamation? Àwọn wo ló dá problem yìí sílẹ̀ tó wá affect olówó, mẹ̀kúnnù, tálákà, àtẹni tó rí jẹ, àtẹni tó rí jẹ? Who signed this amalgamation? What was the purpose behind it? Ṣé fún purpose fún ilé ayé wa pé kó lè dání àbí fún purpose ẹlòmíì? A dẹ̀ ń sọ pé ọ̀nà àbáyọ òun ni pé ọ̀rọ̀ yóò ṣe restructure mọ́ ẹni ó máa restructure ẹja gbọ́n tẹ́gbọ́n mi sọ mi.
Impediment to Yoruba development is the impediment to Oodua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are.
Bear with me, there is a bit of issue with the audio. Remember.
1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio to South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any impediment to Yoruba development is the impediment to Oodua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio to South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The process of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
Like somebody is saying on the thread, Mr. Koiki, Mr. Jimoh Razak, that shows that how many innocent Nigeria ló wà ní prison ní Cairo látara pé èèyàn kan wò wọ́n òfin tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ní pé ẹni tó bá wù ẹ́ àbí ẹni tó bá wò wọ́n ń gbé ẹ lọ nìyẹn ṣèbí torí pé bàbá yìí tẹ̀ láwọn èèyàn because at the end of the conversation he was able to tell us what saved him kákọ̀ gbọ́ díẹ̀ sí because I want to move.
I cannot sign what I do not know. The police chief then got angry and shouted me down and said, "You will miss your flight." And
I can tell you that he didn't miss his flight. He was lucky. The rest of the group tó jọ ń travel came to rescue him. Ìyẹn ni bàbá Akintoye ṣe ń sọ fún Tinubu pé ó ṣe jẹ́ ká tútù kìíní yẹ̀wò ká jọ gbé yẹ̀wò pé ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà èní ló ti pé ó kù 11 days till we hope that Tinubu will respect the letter láti ṣe kíni láti jẹ́ kó negotiate pẹ̀lú wa. But tó bá negotiate what next? Àwọn èèyàn ti ń béèrè àwọn kan ní ká jáde fún rally ká jáde tán àwọn kan ní no ká bí ká tún kọ lẹ́tà sílẹ̀ nǹkan sí. All these are the issues. Tẹ́yìn kan bá wá ní British passport táwa kan ò ní. Tẹ́yìn kan ní British passport torí pé wá ní British passport yẹn. What about àwa tá ní British passport? Àwọn British gan ti ń complain. The next video tí mo fẹ́ play over 198,000 people ló ti wò. Ó ti pẹ́ tí mo ti wo fídíò yìí. Mo wá tọ́jú link yẹn sínú notepad mi lórí iPad lórí iPhone mi. Ìjọ́kíjọ́ tí bá ti ní time màá play. Ó wá sequence ọ̀rọ̀ tá a ṣe ń bá lọ nípa education àti history. Mo kí Mr. S.A. Ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá wa Sun Odu. Wọ́n ní Nigeria cannot save. Are you taking calls? Mo get àní yẹn. Let me say this again. We should all be concerned, regardless of your take. The present day Nigeria is not holding. The center to collapse. But ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ fi accept the center to collapse. The center has collapsed. Ṣẹ́rí fídíò tí mo fẹ́ play ó gùn díẹ̀. It's about almost 40 minutes. But màá jump láàrin méjì ẹ̀. Ìtarakùnrin ń bèrè ni pé is this England? Isn't it? Pé ṣé England ṣì ní bíbáyìí? Because England yìí ti ń transform. 3 weeks ago ní fídíò yìí jáde 198,000 people ló ti wò. Ẹ jẹ́ káwa náà gbọ́ díẹ̀ náà ẹ̀. Ó máa lọ láti ibìkan sí ibìkan. Ó ń show bí the demographic area of England. Pé ṣé England pé ṣé inú England la ṣì wà ṣá? Àbí pé kò ń ṣe pé a ti wà ní India àbí Pakistan àbí Africa? With the amount of people that are currently living as foreigners now in the United Kingdom. And when I mean foreigners, 4th, 3rd, 5th generation. Rishi Sunak, ìyẹn Prime Minister wa, that least for now, ó máa wọlé kò ní wọlé, ìyẹn kù sí July 4th. Bí a máa lé lọ ni, ó máa dúró ni. Òun fúnra rẹ̀ ọmọ tí a lè sọ pé ó wá láti Asia. Éèjì tẹ́ ń rí, éèjì arákùnrin, éèjì tí ìwọ náà tó jẹ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà tó pèrè ní Nàìjíríà, 44 years old ni Rishi Sunak. He was born in 1980 ní May 12 ọmọ Taros ni, just some few more days before my birthday. Month kan náà lè máa tiẹ̀. Tá bá wò lọ wò bọ̀ lémi lóòótọ́ ó jù mí lọ lórí prime minister tó jẹ́ bọ̀ lọ́jọ́ orí mo jù lọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni lọ́jọ́ orí mo jù lọ. Bọ̀ ní ìwọ nísìnyí o tí accept pé Koiki náà lè sọ̀rọ̀ on behalf of Ìgbòho àti bàbá Akintoye láti polongo Yorùbá nation. Òun dúró kí eléyìí kó wá ṣàlàyé fún ẹ bí eléyìí ti Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún táwọn kánsẹ́lọ̀ tọ́lọ́ ń dọ̀bálẹ̀ fún. Ṣérú ayé bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́fẹ́ ká máa tẹ̀lé? Irú life yẹn lẹ́fẹ́ ká máa gbé? Rishi Sunak tí mò ń pè lórúkọ yìí nísìn mo jù lọ lọ́jọ́ orí bọ̀ ní position as a prime minister tó di gbogbo UK mú ó jù mí lọ. Ó gbọ́ mi yé? Ìwọ náà, how old are you? Tàbá wá sọ pé a fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation, mo kí bàbá mi Adéníyì Adéjùbírè. Ẹlòmíràn máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé ta ló máa jẹ prime minister? Ṣé ìwọ ò lè jẹ́ ni? Mo kí àwa Adéníkẹ́ Ìdòwú, mo kí àwa Adéjọkẹ́ Jíbódù, grandma Awóníyẹ ṣẹ́gun ní kábọ̀. Ẹlòmíà tún máa béèrè pé Koiki ta ló máa ṣe prime minister wa àbí president abádébi tá a lọ àti pé ṣé a lè gbà yín gbọ́ ṣá. But eléyà á máa dictate fún Nàìjíríà nísìnyí ó dẹ̀ lè gbà gbọ́. Ta ló sọ fún ẹ pé gbogbo ohun tí Rishi Sunak kì í ṣe ló favour gbogbo àwọn táwa níbí báyìí? Ó nítorí pé òun ò tẹ̀ ń ṣòyìnbó. Èèyàn bíi tiwa náà lòun náà. Ọmọ is the first British Asian prime minister. Ó ti ṣe cabinet opposition rí, kódà ó ti ṣe chancellor rí. Ó lóun ò ní owó gbàgbọ́ fún Boris Johnson. Òun ló kọ́kọ́ kó bá Boris Johnson. Àwọn náà máa ń jẹra wọn lẹ́sẹ̀ ni. Ó ní òun ò support Boris Johnson mú. Ó kàwé dáadáa Stanford Graduate School of Business. Ó ní owó burúkú bí ṣẹ̀pẹ̀rẹ̀ bó ṣe wà yìí. Owó olówó burúkú ni òun àtìyàwó ẹ̀. Bọ̀ lẹ́ni nísìn ọmọ Yorùbá tó jẹ́ 44 years old, ọmọ Yorùbá tó bí ní 1980, ó sì tún sọ pé Nàìjíríà máa dáa. Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè Ọlọ́run. How do we explain this tó máa yé wa dáadáa, tó máa yé mi, tó máa yé wọ? Báwo mo ṣe lè ṣàlàyé fún yín? Mo kí ẹ just reason. Ọ̀nà wo mo tún lè fi gbà láti fi explain fún yín pé Rishi Sunak tẹ́ ń rí, he was born ní 12th of May 1980. Ọmọ 44 years old ń bẹ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́ni kò tí ì ní future. Ó wá ń sọ fún mi pé Koiki future pọ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ní Nàìjíríà rádà. Ṣẹ́rí pé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn kò hard up. Ṣẹ́rí pé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn máa ń dùn àwa jura wa lọ. Bó ṣe ń dùn èmi lèmi ṣe ń sọ síta. Pé ọmọ 44 lélẹ̀ ṣèbí torí pé ó ní background tó dáa, ó ní opportunity, bó bá tẹ̀ bíyàn bá tẹ̀ brilliant. Àìmọye àwọn tó brilliant nílẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n ọ̀rẹ́ nípa wọn sókè. Àìmọye àwọn tó jẹ́ brilliant nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tó lè jẹ̀ṣẹ́ kò ní láti lọ sí school. Boxer ni máa jẹ̀ṣẹ́, ẹlòmíì lè sáré, ẹlòmíì lè gbá bọ́ọ̀lù, ẹlòmíì lè ṣe basketball, ẹlòmíì lè swim, ẹlòmíì lè ṣe taekwondo. Oríṣiríṣi sport tó ń bẹ lágbàáyé. Àwa wà nínú ìlú kan, ó wá lọ́ọ̀kì gbogbo potential wa, ó wá ní owó ògo, ó ò lè rí ògo yẹn lò nínú Nàìjíríà, ó ò lè rí ògo yẹn lò, irọ́ ló pa. We are all living in denial. Onírọ́ ni gbogbo wa. Máa sọ fáwọn èèyàn pé Nàìjíríà máa dá, irọ́ ló ń pa. Especially ìtẹ̀ wà nílùú òyìnbó. Nàìjíríà máa dá láti ìgbà tí Tinubu ti débẹ̀. Ẹ padà sílé náà, ẹ lọ máa gbé ní Nàìjíríà. Ṣèbígbà tí Tinubu wá, Ọ̀yọ́ máa ń dé, Bọ́lá Ọ̀yọ́ máa ń dé. Ẹ padà sí Nàìjíríà, ẹ lọ máa gbé pẹ̀lú àwọn tó wà níbẹ̀. Tẹ́ ẹ máa face inflation, tẹ́ ẹ máa face food shortages. Ẹ yé live in denial, ẹ padà lọ sílé. Ẹ ní padà. Ẹ sọ fún èmi náà pé èmi náà padà, èmi ò níbi Bọ́lá Tinubu. Ok, màá share speech bàbá yẹn. Wọ́n ní kí n share. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, á bára wa jà. Àgbọ́yé kò yé wa ni. Koiki bí wọn náà ṣe ń sọ yẹn wàá máa farabalẹ̀ ní. Bó ṣe ń sọ yẹn ni kò ti yé wa. Ó ti wá ń yé wa nísìnyí pé kò ń ṣe pé òun bá Bọ́lá Tinubu jà, kò ń ṣe pé òun nífẹ̀ẹ́. Àmọ́ kò yé wa ni. Ṣé rò pé Bọ́lá Tinubu ní kankan láti offer ni? He has nothing to offer. Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ò ní anything láti offer. Irọ́ ló ń bẹ níbẹ̀. Kò sí iota of truth. Because Bọ́lá Tinubu represent government ni. Kò represent Yorùbá. Òun náà dẹ̀ ti sọ. Ó náà wọ́n represent Yorùbá. So ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ gbọ́ ilé tí à ń bá lọ. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ní gbogbo ibikíbi tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ wa. A ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa student. Ó kù wákàtí kan tètò yìí máa fi tán. Mo kí gbogbo apá kú ìjókòó. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ. Mo kí yín pé ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ máa yọjú sí. John ní Nigeria 44 years old cannot take good care of his family. Nigeria is gone. Sọ pé ó ti lọ. Mo kí àmì Monisola Rahman. Wọ́n ní White Lion. Ọlọ́run á wà pẹ̀lú yín. Ẹ kú akitiyan ìbùkún fún orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ gbọ́ fídíò tí mo fi play. Mo ti fún yín ní background ẹ̀. Ìtarakùn òyìnbó yìí. Òyìnbó ni o British kò ń ṣe àwọn òyìnbó Eastern European o. Torí ẹlòmíì ò dá wọn mọ̀. Ẹlòmíì máa ń mix Lebanese bí òyìnbó. Ìyẹn làwọn ará Egypt yẹn máa ń kára wọn kún bí ìgbà tó yẹ kó òyìnbó ni wọ́n ń ṣe òyìnbó Africa ni wọ́n. Mo kí Mr. Fọlábí Mark Okula ẹ káàbọ̀. Má máa rò pé àwọn ará Cairo, àwọn ará Egypt, wọ́n ń ṣe òyìnbó, bọ̀ wọ́n máa ń kára wọn kún òyìnbó. Wọ́n ń ṣe òyìnbó Áfíríkà ni wọ́n. Ìyẹn ló ṣe díò pẹ̀lú bàbá yẹn. Bàbá yẹn ní òun kàwé for up to 25 years títí dé PhD. Ẹni tó ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ ní Cairo airport yẹn ó lè má ní standard 6. Arákùnrin tẹ́ fẹ́ gbọ́ program ẹ̀ yìí, òyìnbó yẹn lè pọ̀ fẹ́yìn kankan, bọ̀ máa ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ fún yín níwọ̀nba tí mo lè ṣe. Ó ń béèrè pé ṣé England láti wà yìí, England yìí máa ti ń yàtọ̀. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń pariwo pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó ń change lójoojúmọ́. Bó bá dàdúgbò mi wàá máa béèrè pé àwọn òun ló tún gbé níbí báyìí, kò sọmọ Yorùbá níbí báyìí. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nísìn kò lè gbé láàrin ìlú mọ́ àti tún wọnú igbó lọ. Inú igbó ọ̀hún gan nísìn kò sí fọkànbalẹ̀. Ẹja gbọ́n tarákùnrin sọ, ẹja mẹ́tì máìkì ní mọ́lẹ̀.
It's unrecognizable from the country that we live in today. And so I'm not sure if you've noticed, but England and Englishness is changing and extremely quickly. Traveling from one city to another.
Mo máa pọ́sẹ̀ láàrin méjì náà. Ó ní England. England yìí máa ti ń change. England tó ń mọ̀ nígbà tó bí òun ní kékeré, ó máa ti ń yàtọ̀. Bílẹ̀ Yorùbá náà ṣe rí nìyẹn o. Mo ti ń tọ́jú fídíò yìí nísìn 3 weeks ago ló ṣe. Máa sọ pé dey play. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, mò ń play náà ni, ó mọ̀ pé mò ń níṣẹ́. Mò ń play. Bọ̀ èmi ń kọ ìtàn tèmi sílẹ̀. Torí pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ti dúró, ó kọ̀ kù díẹ̀. Ẹlòmíà ní online Yorùbá nation country, no problem. But one thing is that the demographic part of Yoruba land is changing at a very speed of sound. Àwọn olórí burúkú tó wà láàrin wa, wọ́n bímọ bí wèrè wọ̀ọ̀dẹ lọ́mọ tó ń tọ́jú. Wọ́n bímọ wọ́n ń dà wọ́n sí south west. Wọ́n bímọ wọ́n ń dà wọ́n sí south west. Look at Tony Ages. Let's go back again.
Another, you'd be forgiven for thinking that you travel to 2 completely different countries.
Lábìrú pé mò ń pọ́sẹ̀ pé mo jẹ́ gbádùn ẹ̀. Ó ní tó bá wà ní England, wàá rò pé wà ní 2 countries. Ṣèbó ti dàbẹ́ náà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́nu. It is the same thing. You will go to some places in Yoruba land, but you will almost think that you are in southeast, or you are in the north, or you are probably somewhere nowhere. With the way things have changed. Why is it happening? It's because of the migration into the southwest. Ibẹ̀ ni mùdùmùdù wà bí àṣà Yorùbá wuyì. Show clear. You are all thinking that níṣẹ́ la ṣe ń no níṣẹ́. We are just concerned for the future of the Yoruba people. Mo kí bàbá wa Adégoroyè Ọ̀pẹ́yẹmí Àdìsá. We are concerned. We are worried. Ẹ ṣé gan ni Mr. Ahmed Jimoh. Wọ́n ní the White Lion. You are welcome and I'm very grateful for you from Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́. Àwọn ìlú ńláńlá tó yẹ kó ti di town, tó yẹ kó ti di city, tó yẹ káwọn èèyàn máa dé sí Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ nítorí pé ó wà historical. Tó yẹ kí plane máa dé láti direct láti America kó láàdì síbẹ̀ kó book hotel kí mi náà máa make owó ẹrù kó owó orí social media láfẹ́ pa ni. Owó ń bẹ ní Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ ní sàárì kankan fi ṣe. Kò sí development, kò sí ná, kò sí títì, kò sí security. Àwọn ẹ̀dẹ̀ wà nínú òyìnbó, à ń wọ jíǹsì, à ń wọ trouser, à ń ṣe big boy. Nínú mọ́tò tí à ń sanwó díẹ̀díẹ̀ fún Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ tó dùn. Ọlọ́run máa kú sùúrù o. Ẹ jẹ́ àgbọ̀n tárákùnrin yìí sọ. Màá jẹ́ kó lọ díẹ̀ kí n tó tún sọ̀rọ̀.
Country that the generation before me grew up in is unrecognizable from the country that we live in today. And if you're not from England, I dare say the country that you have in your imagination is not the country that actually exists. So with that in mind, I've come to the capital city, London, the big smoke. Because if you want to get a feel of what a country looks like, then surely the capital city is the place to start. For the next couple of days, I'm going to travel around London. I'm going to start here in the west, go make my way through the centre, and then go all the way through the east, the north and the south, and see what London is really like in the year of 2024. Let's go.
Building your online business?
So where we're starting is a place called Southall. It's otherwise known as the Little Punjab or the Little India. It's St. George's Day today, but I wouldn't expect to see any St. George's crosses flying here. And there's a history behind that, which I'll let you know about in a second. But first, we're gonna go grab a pub, because I've seen a pub on the corner, and I do celebrate St. George's Day. But I won't pretend I've always celebrated it, but I'm starting from today. How you doing, mate? All right. Good. I want a pint of Foster's, please.
Lots of pubs closed now. Many closed. Everything increasing, you know. Electricity, gas, everything increasing. So it's hard to run.
Yeah.
So what's the difference in between blonde and butter?
No, not sure.
Actually, butter hard to spread. You can see the growth rate of India now, around 8, and all Europe is dying.
Did you hear that? The growth rate of India is 8, while all Europe is dying. Ìjẹ́ àwọn ronú pé nígbà wo ni growth ilẹ̀ Yorùbá máa dìde with all the shenanigans. Fídíò yìí nígbà tí mo wò délẹ̀ tán mo ń sunkún síta bọ̀ mo kàn wò pé we have to get out of it. Ṣé rí tá a bá mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ for the fact pé a mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ yẹn there's nothing wrong. Oh yes, kò sí wọn tó wrong nígbà lè blame ara fún yẹn because wọ́n jẹ́ ká mọ̀ ní. Gbogbo 30-20 years ago àwa náà kàn hustle ní àmọ́ but ìtò wa dání sí ni pé technology wa gbé gbogbo wa sójú kan àwa mọ̀ àwọn kan tún wá ń criticize wa pé nítorí pé kinní kan lábẹ́sí ìtura ọ̀rọ̀ yìí máa lágbára díẹ̀ o. Ẹ mọ̀ pé something tí yàn mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ because èèyàn mélòó lọ history mélòó náà lámù àwọn bí wá sínú Nàìjíríà olúkàlùkù kan wọ́n sùn ìgbà tó yá àwọn tó mọ̀ ń pa olúkàlùkù yá yọ olúkàlùkù wa kọ̀ gbọ́ Mr. Tunde ó ti travel kẹ̀ Mr. David ó ti rìnrìn àjò yẹn wá ń pẹ́ ìyá yóò ti padà wálé ní àṣà àmọ̀ pé àwọn ìyá tó padà wálé yẹn ìwé ló ń wáwọ̀ tètè ríwèé ní ẹlòmíì fẹ́ wálé kò ríwèé ní bìkọ́ tó bá ti bí ẹ síbi tí ó yẹ kó ti gbàwé yẹn láti kékeré ó yàtọ̀ sáwọn tó bí tó gbé padà àwọn kan wọ́n bí wọ́n gbé wọn padà lọ Nàìjíríà wọ́n níwèé but ìwọ tó ò ní ìwé tó wá sí ìlú òyìnbó ó máa ń pẹ́ kò ń ṣe tó ń yà ìtọ́ fi tètè padà wálé nìyẹn ẹjẹ́ máa gbọ́rọ̀ yìí lọ díẹ̀ fún bọ̀.
Why do you think Europe's dying? It's interesting you say
actually, it's dying. Actually, they got human right with it. That's the problem. Actually, human right is not problem. The thinking is good. But problem is, some people use human right as a weapon, and all Europe is suffering with this. Or Europe is shown big heart to all people around all over the world, but now they suffer.
People taking advantage.
Yeah, they take an advantage.
Interesting perspective there to say that human rights are being weaponized against the European nations and what we've built here. But we're going to walk into Southall now. We're going to grab some food because I'm bloody Hank Marvin, and then we're going to head into Central. But I just want to show you Southall. I've never been here before, so I feel. Right, we're going to try it. It's the British version. Yes. So we're going to try our pani puri. Look at this.
Sorry, kó dàbí gbẹ̀gìrì. Ṣé o lè fẹ́ lè jẹ̀bà? Ṣó elé dàbí kọ̀kọ̀rẹ́? Ṣó dàbí omi ọbẹ̀ tiwa? Gbogbo ìlú lágbàáyé ló ní culture tiwọn, ló ní oúnjẹ tiwọn, ló ní ideology tiwọn. Eléyìí tó ń jẹ nísìn, oúnjẹ àwọn Punjabi ni. Má dà pé wọ́n gbé mi travel ṣá. Lẹ́nu olè náà bá wà Nàìjíríà ní sinmi bá kàn án náà. Yẹ ṣọ́tọ̀. Ó dà pé mo travel out of Nigeria. Because olú ẹlẹ́wà Nàìjíríà náà kọ́ yẹn ọjọ́ ọmọ lówó kan because dójú àwọn kan nísìn jàgbàjàgbà là ń sọ. Do you understand? Ṣé oúnjẹ tó ń jẹ yìí nísìn ṣó dàbí ìgbèrò àwọn ẹ máa sọ oúnjẹ Yorùbá fún mi ṣó jẹ oúnjẹ Yorùbá ṣé o lè wá sí pátì mi nísìn kí n sábẹ́ lè fún ẹ kó má bí ní pé Koiki ṣé o ní máa padà bọ̀ ń lé báyìí can you serve this food kò jẹ́ kí n sọ pé nígbà tó wá ṣèkó mo àbò wá sí ayẹyẹ mi o mo wá lọ sóúnjẹ Punjabi mo wá gbèyàn sórí tébù ṣé ìwà gẹ́gẹ́ bí oúnjẹ ìyá mi Olúwatósìn ṣé lè dàbí ẹ̀fọ́ rírò ṣó dàbí túwó gan tó jẹ́ táwọn ti north ṣó dàbí kọkọrẹ́ ṣó dàbí oúnjẹ àwọn Ìgbò ṣéyàn lè lọ sílẹ̀ Ìgbò nísìkò sábẹ́ lè kọ́ má bí ẹ pé kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣé rí pé gbogbo táwọn sọ nílé pé olúkálukú ló ní àwọn ọbẹ̀ yẹn nísìnyí àwọn tó jẹ́ Punjabi ló ń gbé ládùúgbò yìí ṣó dàbí láfún ṣó dàbí ráìsì tamara lábẹ́kúta tó máa pọ́n sínú ewé ṣó dàbí kókóró ṣó lè gbélé jẹ fún yàngàn sẹ kò sí bó ṣe lè òun ti jẹ́rìí torí òun ti travel lọ sọ́nà ọbẹ̀ yẹn àwọn náà máa ń travel káàkiri especially ìnà blogger lòun náà ìyẹn mo ṣe sọ pé mo lè máa ṣe content tó ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú Yorùbá nation ká dẹ̀ máa pa owó wọlé fún mi níwọ̀nba but for the part that a dúró lórí bíbà ibi tí Elédùmarè tó ní ká ṣì wà nìyẹn so you can see why we are concerned we are worried kò ń ṣe fún torí Tinubu nítorí ìran gbogbo wa ni mo ń bọ̀ mo ti.
Holy shit. That is so good. Oh. It's like spicy, lime, chickpeas. Look at that. I love it. Right, that was absolutely delicious. I feel well fed now. And to be honest, there's not really much to show you. It's just like another high street, all different types of shops and places from typically South Asian heritage. It definitely doesn't feel like England. I'm doing it all right. Does it feel like England? It definitely doesn't feel like England, but not in a negative sense. I made a video in Birmingham recently and people were calling me a racist or whatever else because I'm saying it doesn't feel like England. And yeah, I do feel like a little bit of a criticism because, well, it is England, but at the same time, it's not up for people who come to this country to give up their own culture. Why should they?
Why should I leave my culture? Torí mo wá gbé ní UK. What's going on, man? Everything all right? Yes, you can integrate, but you cannot leave your culture. Ẹ wá expect pé àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò tó fẹ́ wá gbé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá wá ju culture wọn nù torí pé wọ́n fẹ́ wá gbé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. No, bó ṣe ń ṣe lọ́dọ̀ tiwọn ló ṣe máa ṣe lọ́dọ̀ tiwa. Ó dẹ̀ máa ní àwa lára bí àwọn Fúlàní ṣe ń ṣe lọ́dọ̀ tiwọn tó ń ṣe bí animals. Ṣé o gbọ́ nǹkan tó ń sọ? Oh my God. Kò ṣàánú wa. We are just about 32 minutes kétò ìkó parí agbára Ọlọ́run. Ṣé ń fẹ́ mi bá lọ mo kàn mọ̀ máa ṣe àyàngbé fún ẹ̀ torí òyìnbó tó ń sọ yẹn ìgbà tèmi náà kọ́kọ́ dé kò mú gbogbo tó ń sọ fún mi lẹ́pọ̀ mo kàn ń sọ pé yes àti tó yẹ kí n sọ pé no á mà dàbí pọ́n fi mú sọ̀rọ̀ ni kò ní gbọ́n tó ń sọ dáadáa ìgbà tèmi tẹ̀ tó wá lọ dé ọwọ́ àwọn Jamaica mo lọ dé sí lọ́wọ́ àwọn bíi patois àwọn òyìnbó àwọn yẹn ó tún yàtọ̀ mo ní ọmọ orí tó ń sọ yèmí ògbọ́n tó ń sọ òjẹ́gbọ́n tèmi sọ àwọn ọ̀gbọ́ proper English bí àwa patois làwọn máa ń sọ ìjà yẹn wọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ láàrin ìmọ̀ àtẹni ìdájọ́ wa ń jọ́ náà lọ. Because n tó ń sọ kò yé mi ọdẹ fún abẹ́yẹsì papọ̀ kájọ máa ṣiṣẹ́ ní tó ń sọ èmi kò yé mi ní tí wọn náà sọ kò yéra wa ó yá push pull. Bọ́ǹbù clap mẹ́wọ̀n náà bọ́ǹbù clap nǹkan tó bá jẹ́ kò ní da fún ìyá ìtiwọ́n náà àjẹpá máa ń búra wa ni. Nígbà tá a gbọ́n kọ̀ọ̀kan máa dọ́gba lára sọ. Ẹ̀gbọ́n tó sọ mẹ́rin. So you expect because people have left Asian to come and live here, they will leave their culture. Ẹja máa bá lọ mú bọ̀.
I'm personally a nationalist. Let's say a nationalist.
Ṣẹ̀gbọ́n tó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, ta ló gbọ́n tó sọ níbẹ̀ yẹn bá mi kọ́mẹ̀ntì náà àwọn èèyàn kọ́mẹ̀ntì àwọn ẹ̀jẹ̀ kan máa lọ. kí ló sọ níbẹ̀ yẹn kí tó pause kí ló sọ ẹ bá mi kọ sínú comment section mo fẹ́ mọ̀ kí tó define ẹ̀ kí ló sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan tẹ bá ń fi ẹ̀mí bá lọ òṣìṣẹ́ ìtẹ́wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ o kí ló sọ níbẹ̀ yẹn nísìn kí ló sọ èdè wo ló pè jáde. ẹ yẹ ká rewind ẹ.
Definitely doesn't feel like England. I'm doing it all right. Does it feel like England? It definitely doesn't feel like England, but not in a negative sense. I made a video in Birmingham recently and people were calling me a racist or whatever else because I'm saying it doesn't feel like England. And yeah, I do feel like a little bit of a criticism because, well, it is England, but at the same time, it's not up for people who come to this country to give up their own culture. Why should they? I am personally a nationalist.
Only I am a nationalist. We are proud nationalists. How can I get me by that? Ọmọ Nàìjíríà ní ẹjọ́ kó bó ṣe ń ṣe lọ ṣé torí o ti dóńdó òyìnbó bla 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 blo blo blo. Bàbá mi sùn òdù wọ́n ní yes. Ó ní I am a proud nationalist. Ọgbọ́n mi ràn wá gbọ́ láwọn ọba àtàwọn náà wà lórí ètò. Wọ́n ní Koiki mi náà gbọ́n tó sọ o. I am a proud nationalist. Ṣé rí fídíò yìí tó ń ṣe yìí máa fẹ́ kẹ́ lọ tún wò létà. Ẹ mọ̀ pé mi kàn kọ́ tẹ̀ mo ń try láti ṣe àlàyé lé lórí ni. Tọ́pìkì tó béèrè ni pé ṣé England ṣì ní bíbá iṣá àbí ó ti yàtọ̀ torí ó dàbí ìlú méjì kódà ó fẹ́ dàbí ìlú mẹ́fà. There's nothing wrong in living with different people but ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ respect ẹ̀yin tẹ́jọ́ mọ nílùú. Ìyá ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Sheriff Alabi ni I'm personally a nationalist. Tó bá sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní sọ you are a Nigerian. You are a Nigerian. You are a Nigerian. Stop shouting. Ẹ jẹ́ máa bá lọ díẹ̀ ó kù díẹ̀.
Let's say a nationalist, a patriot. I don't know what the word is to say someone who loves their own country. So I am actually jealous and envious of the people who come here and maintain their own culture. I speak to people of the Caribbean community who actually say that their culture is disappearing, their British Caribbean culture is disappearing. And it shouldn't be an issue for a white person to be able to say, or a white British person to be able to say, look, our culture is disappearing, but it's also
our culture is disappearing. Ṣé culture wa ti disappear báyìí? Aṣọ òyìnbó ọ̀pẹ̀rẹ̀ abẹ́rẹ́ stop speaking in English, stop speaking in vernacular, stop speaking in vernacular. Àṣé fraud ni. Àṣé pé òyìnbó tá à ń sọ ní school yẹn fraud ni because Chinese ò ní ever sọ òyìnbó. Ṣé rí purpose ti education tí bàbá Akintoye ń sọ bọ̀? Ṣé rí purpose yẹn? Ṣé ìgbádùn bọ̀bọ̀ yìí? Èèyàn mélòó ló ń gbádùn ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ yìí? Ọ̀rọ̀ tó deep gidi ni. Tó deep tó ń affect àwa lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá nísìn. Ọ̀rọ̀ tó rọra mú bọ̀ yìí ó sì máa débi ẹ mọ̀ pé ìjọ tó ń ṣe St. George's Day ló ṣe fídíò yìí ó sì dé Central London o. Ọ̀rọ̀ tó deep tó yẹ kó wà nígbà àyà wa ká má fi ṣeré rárá. Whether olóbi Tinubu kọ́kọ́ sọ pé I am a proud nationalist ọmọ Yorùbá ni mí before Nigeria. Òun lòyìnbó ṣe ń sọ yẹn fún wa. Just reason ni imagine how ignorance makes our people to misconstrue showing the love of your Yoruba culture to be reflected in your governance as being tribalistic or discriminating against our culture. Ìyá mi Mofolúkẹ́ sọ pé I am a nationalist. Akim Olúwadámiláre sọ pé I am a nationalist. Bàbá mi Jubril sọ pé I am a nationalist. Tani sọ pé we are different nations inside the country called Nigeria. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Mọ́gbọ́láhùn ọba. Mo ní àbára wa jà. Ìyá mi Awóníyì grandma sọ pé mo gbádùn ẹ Koiki àbáṣẹ lọ. À ń ṣàdúrà fún ẹ. Ìwọ ṣáà máa báṣẹ lọ. Àdúrà ń lọ fún ẹ lójoojúmọ́. Ní dúró tákẹ́ àdúrà. Mo kí bàbá mi Sunday wálé. mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ pátápátá ẹ fẹ́ pè wọlé ẹ pè wọlé ẹ má sọ pé ẹ lè pè mo ní kọ́ọ̀lù wà open 9 wà open ẹ bá fẹ́ pè wọlé ká pè kátẹ̀ dárayá lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tí bàbá yìí sọ yìí òyìnbó tó ń sọ yìí bí a máa bẹ́ẹ̀ lò bí a ṣèbẹ́ ni Tuesday àbí kó lè má jẹ lọ́la bí a níjọ Thursday lágbára Ọlọ́run àtúplẹ̀ fídíò yìí àtúnfiṣe analysis níbi tá a bá gbọ́ dé náà láti máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ pè wọlé +44 74 0440 5917 ẹ bá wa dá ṣètò yẹn ta ni proud nationalist kí ló dé tá a wà proud nípa ìran wa kí nìkan tó dé ta fi wà selfish nípa pé ká sọ pé we are ẹ̀yẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn representative wa ó jẹ́ kó wà proud Akérédolú tried his best ó ní kó máa kọ Yorùbá anthem òun ló yẹ kó máa kọ ní gbogbo House of Assembly kó tó kọ national anthem bọ̀ kí ló wá dé tí a wà proud nípa ìran wa à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ìran wa àwọn kan sọ̀rọ̀ APC wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ PDP APC tó lè dọ̀la nísìn kó tún change party kó change orúkọ ṣé àwa lè change orúkọ ni. ẹ jẹ́ àgbẹ̀ kọ́ọ̀dù tó ń bọ̀ yìí ká gbọ́n tó fi bá wa sọ. ẹ gbóhùn sókè ẹ bá mute tẹ́ ń gbọ́nulé ẹ mute yẹn mọ́lẹ̀ ẹ ti wọlé ẹ mute tẹ́ ń gbọ́nulé yẹn mọ́lẹ̀ pátápátá à ń gbọ́ yín kétékété.
ok ẹ káàárọ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀.
adúpẹ́ sà.
ẹjọ nǹkan mẹ́ta fẹ́ sọ.
ẹ ní àyè gbọ́n sókè.
demographic yẹn náà ń change in the US by rapidly. That is why people are supporting Trump. The whites are supporting him because they see immigrants as taking over their country. There are some areas wọn different tali fún
àwọn tó kì í ṣe ọmọ.
Yes. Number 2 ni pé nípa ọ̀rọ̀ Jamaica tẹ sọ ẹ pé ẹgbẹ́ nǹkan tó sọ èmi náà experience it personally in fact mo experience it in the last 24 hours. Their accent English but their accent doesn't bọ́ńbọ́ kúrò títẹ̀ ń sọ yẹn bí wọ́n kí ọkọ̀ máa bú yorùbá borí ẹ̀ bàjẹ́ tó ló ti ṣe wọ́n mọ́.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni èdè burúkú ni bẹ́ẹ̀ni látọ̀ àlọ́ máa ń sọ.
Daily at work when they are talking I just use initiative of the work we are doing.
láti fi get nǹkan tó ń sọ.
báyọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ nílé our people have seen abnormality as normal and I believe I'm at home I be seeing the same way. They know what is going on but they feel well kí la fẹ́ ṣe sí. It's like you are resigning yourself to fate. The government has suppressed all manners of information. Mo send the video kan sí ẹnìkan wọ́n jí àwọn jí obìnrin yẹn gbé orin ládùúgbò bóyá 3-4 days ago wọ́n jí obìnrin yẹn gbé àtọmọ ẹ̀wọ̀n ọwọ́ ọjà náà ìdílé wọn 4 days after mo send it sí àwọn òbí.
mo rí yes mo èmi náà wọ́n send it sí mi náà.
Bí wọ́n lè mọ ọkọ tó ń lọ but my wife delete it say I'm scaring the children bí tẹ̀sán àwọn ọmọ ọdẹ sábà mo ní I'm not scaring you I want you to know reality. Mo ní when you have a normal situation mo ní good news is harmless bóyá agree pẹ̀lú mi. But a criminal news like this one is harmful if you are not aware.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Mo ní travelling tẹ̀sán yẹn nípa ètò lọ́kàrù kankan kí wọ́n lè jẹ́ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni mo ti make a lot of hard decisions. Number 1 Lamẹ́ríkà ibi tí mo wà yìí Lamẹ́ríkà tí mo wà yìí I been travelling tó bá ṣe àríkì tó pa I travel by direct flight for my friend for 4 times of going to Nigeria I like direct flight New York Lagos New York mo wá tí mi rí direct flight I made up my mind I will never make a stop over in any African country but I don't trust them. Ethiopia case ọkọ arrest àwọn Nigerian airport randomly lọ́dọ̀ if you wan see prison that's number 1. Number 2 I will never enter any airline that make a stopover in a non-English speaking country. Irú ẹ̀ ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí máa nìyẹn. Tí ó bá sí pé Ọlọ́run fún máa yẹn ní wisdom, ẹ bá ṣe ní kí sáì, ẹlòmíì à sáì pé jẹ́ kí n sáì ẹ̀ òwe kíní kan wọ́n ṣe lè fi mí lẹ̀. That is how we will end up in prison. Wọ́n máa kú sí prison.
Nígbà tó mọ̀ tó kọ nínú Arabic.
Ọ̀rọ̀ Arabic, all these are enlightenment, education and it's for future. Demography, àwa náà ó ń jẹ́. Àwọn ẹ̀ ń bímọ bíi ẹlẹ́dẹ̀. Àwa jẹ́ ń bímọ pé ká train ọmọ wa kó ní future. Àwọn òkè àwọn ẹ̀dá they are bringing.
Wọ́n dá sí wa lọ́rùn ni.
They are giving back to future nuisance to the whole of Nigeria. Yorùbá ò dẹ̀ láìkí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Ó dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ Gani Fáyẹ̀mí ni. as far back as 1990 ó ní ìgbàtọ̀ndà private school rẹ̀ ó ní pé owó tó yẹ kó fi tọ́jú ọmọ 20 ó ní wọn lọ fi ń tọ́jú ọmọ kan ó ní ọmọ 19 tó kù yẹn ló máa make life unbearable for the rest of for that white tribe.
It was challenge.
No matter how people keep to pretend, you can't build your own identity ẹ̀kọ́.
Impossible. Tó bá tẹ̀ wá kọ́ tiẹ̀ ṣé tó bá tún wá drive náà tó bá kúrò nínú ilé ẹ̀ tó wọ̀ náà tó tún máa fix gbogbo títì tó kù.
Títì yẹn ẹ wo Bọ́lá Ajíbọ́lá fọmọ tó níjẹ náà gbàdọ̀ lọ sí Lábẹ́òkúta àwọn tó ń ṣòbẹ̀ ọ̀nà ilé ẹ̀ ò da ó wá dá ká wájú ilé wá dá gọ́tà ṣe wájú ilé ṣé lónìí yẹn. Finally, mo wá sọ fẹ́ nìkan mo ní olè máa sọ pé kinní kan kọ̀ọ̀kan mo ní but let me tell you something where I'm working for the past 16-17 years 12 midnight ni ma kó òbí iṣẹ́ 12 a.m. and then delay between 1 and 1:30 for 17 years mo ní wọn ò jí mi pé o and there is little training to my life mo ní who can move in Nigeria from Lagos to Ogun State to Oyo State to Kwara State in 6 a.m. and said it's possible only where you don't have 24/7 security is a failed nation. So ọ̀rọ̀ mi kẹjẹ mi ẹ kú iṣẹ́ o.
Ẹ ṣé gan bàbá wa ẹ ṣé gan ni thank you so much. Ẹ ṣé gan ni ẹ ṣé gan ni thank you so much. Ẹ ṣé gan ni àdúpẹ́. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ ṣé gan ni thank you so much. Mo kí brother wa tó pè tán bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa wíwá. Ìyá mi Kẹ́mi Bello mo kí yín mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ jẹ́ silent listeners ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká tún gbọ́ bàbá wa Imam Ọ̀fà kọ́ lọ́ba Elédùmarè kó bá wọn pẹ̀lú bàbá yẹn.
Wọ́n náà na Nàìjíríà lẹ́ ń sunkún ẹ̀rí bẹ́ẹ̀ gbọ́n Nàìjíríà tó fẹ́ẹ̀lì bí education tó fẹ́ẹ̀lì bí health infrastructure wọ́n fẹ́ẹ̀lì gbogbo nǹkan náà fẹ́ẹ̀lì ẹ̀wá náà fẹ́ẹ̀lì bọ́ọ̀dù ẹ̀ ń sunkún ìran rẹ nígbà yìí gbogbo kọ́ọ̀pù tí ẹ gbà ìwọlẹ́ fi mú mi rí.
We have another caller tí wọ́n ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹgbọ́n sókè bàbá wa tó wà lórí ètò à ń gbọ́ yín sà.
Nǹkan ìjù báwo ni.
Adúpẹ́ sà.
Bàbá kú iṣẹ́.
Àwa nìyẹn.
Ọgbọ́n àti ìmọ̀ àti òye tí ọba Elédùmarè ti máa lágbára lọ onígbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ lágbára lọ ọpọlọ òde dàrú lágbára Elédùmarè lágbára ló tẹ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lò ọwọ́ àwọn ẹni ọwọ́ àwọn ìka ènìyàn wọn ní nípa lórí ẹ̀ lágbára Elédùmarè. Ọ̀rọ̀ mi ò ní pọ̀ máa sọ ní ìpele bíi méjì ọ̀bí mẹ́ta tí máa fi ṣe. Nǹkan tí máa kọ́kọ́ sọ ní pé nípa ọ̀rọ̀ òyìnbó British yẹn tó sọ̀rọ̀ nípa nationality. I always telling people kò lè yàtọ̀ jókòó I always telling people pé nǹkan méjì lóyìnbó believe. Àwọn funfun àwọn western world they believe in nationality and they believe in race. They cannot believe lórí. Láti dìrì tó fi easier fún wọn láti gbìmọ̀ pọ̀ tí wọ́n fi pàdé ní Berlin conference 1884 British French Belgium àwọn Portuguese kìíní tó ti decide pé ẹ wá a máa lọ sí Africa a máa gbígbẹ̀ nípa a máa gbé wa ẹ jẹ́ ká pín àwọn ìlú yìí ká gbé wọn léra wa lọ́wọ́ ká ṣe wọ́n bó ṣe wà according to my history according to research tí mo ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n máa ń jà nílẹ̀ Áfíríkà ni wọ́n jà sí ìkan àwọn ìdí àmì nítorí àná wọn pera wọn jọ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká jókòó àwọn pípẹ́ ní nǹkan rọ ẹ jẹ́ ká jó gbogbo kìíní wọn léra wa lọ́wọ́ òun làwọn British tó fi mú àyè tí wọn tó fi mú Nàìjíríà tó fi mú àwọn ìlú kan ní West Africa àwọn French náà ó dà pé 12 country náà ni wọ́n mú ní Africa country wọ́n ṣe pé ní àwọn lọ́wọ́ ní wọ́n believe nationality and race but àwa a believe lórí tribalism a lè believe lórí religion ara àwọn tó fi kó wa lẹ́rú nìyẹn ara àwọn tó fi kó wa ní ẹrú nìyẹn a ó lè ṣe wípé main problem ta ní tó jẹ́ pé kò jẹ́ kí kò sí àdúrà táwọn èèyàn lè ṣe nílẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ tó ń pè ní Nàìjíríà èmi ò pè ní Nàìjíríà mọ́ Koiki Nàìjíríà ni mò ń pè náà ìpè ní Nàìjíríà mọ́ Nàìjíríà ni nǹkan tí ó fi jẹ́ pé kò sí àdúrà táwọn èèyàn lè ṣe tó jẹ́ pé ó lè ṣe jẹ́ létí bíkọ́ báwọn British ṣe lọ́ọ̀kì wa papọ̀ wọ́n lọ́ọ̀kì wa papọ̀ pẹ̀lú religion wà lára kan tó fún ọkàn tó fi kó wa lẹ́rú àwọn ọ̀rẹ́sẹ̀ ní religion wo ni mo sọ Islam àti Christianity èmi ò sọ pé kò dáa o àtàkùn tó fi kó wa lẹ́rù nìyẹn àti tribalism tribe tó fi kó wa papọ̀ ó wà lára nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé ó fi difficult tó jẹ́ pé kò sí nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé ó lè jẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà lè ṣiṣẹ́ kò possible. Tinubu Bọ́lá Tinubu is a disaster tó jẹ́ pé ó di calamity ní bó ṣe wà yẹn disaster ló jẹ́ and ẹni ọmọ Yorùbá tó bá bìí pé Bọ́lá Tinubu ó máa bá wọn gba Yorùbá nation ó máa bá wọn ṣe regional system they are living in ìdájà wọn kàn tó ra wọn jẹ bí Bọ́lá Tinubu ó lè sọ pé ibi tí Buhari parí ẹ̀ sí ló ti máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ Bọ́lá Tinubu àfikò tí ẹ̀ dẹ̀ máa wọ̀ sí ìlú àdìgbò ó máa wọ̀ sùn láti rí yẹn ṣọdá náà ẹ̀ ti bẹ̀ yẹn máa ní Nàìjíríà tó jẹ́ wípé ó lọ bóyá ní stop over ní Cairo tó ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ èmi ti máa ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn pé àwọn Arab people àwọn kan wọn kórìíra dúdú wọn kórìíra dúdú ju àwọn ìgboro aláwọ̀ funfun lọ gbogbo ẹ̀ mo ti sọ ṣùgbọ́n sọ pé àwọn ìbò rẹ̀ sí àwọn aláwọ̀ àwọn àràbò wọn kórìíra àwọn dúdú ju àwọn aláwọ̀ funfun lọ ṣòrí slave ó dà pé àwọn èèyàn mọ̀ pé àwọn àlàfo náà wọ́n kó àwọn Áfíríkà lẹ́rú ó dà pé àwọn náà wọ́n sọ pé wọ́n kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ kan kó tó di pé àwọn aláwọ̀ funfun àwọn ìlúkọ àwọn sọ orí kọ́ńtínẹ́ǹtì wa and through East Africa káwọn lọ́lọ́kọ́ wẹ̀ kọ́ ṣe lọ ṣe research East Africa àwọn Kenya Tanzania Uganda gbogbo bẹ̀yẹn náà fi ná millions of people náà kó lẹ́rú wọ́n àfẹ́fẹ́ àwọn tó ń kó lẹ́rú through àwọn East Africa nígbà yẹn lọ́hùn wọ́n ní àtòbí ọkùnrin tó ń kó kúrò tó ń kó through transatlantic wọ́n ní àwọn ọkùnrin wọ́n máa ń castrate wọn ni so that wọ́n nílé bá àwọn obìnrin yẹn sùn láti máa produce wọ́n castrate wọn ni àwọn ọkùnrin tó ń kú lẹ́nu through East Africa ìkọ́tà táwọn aláàbò ṣe fáwọn ni. wọ́n á yẹ tó sọ pé òun lọ sí pilgrimage ṣé pilgrimage ló sọ pé òun lọ tàbí kí nìkan ara àkọ́tà sọ́dọ̀ tó bá jẹ́ Ọlọ́run fún wa ní gbogbo nǹkan lọ́nà ló fi kẹ́ wa tó bá jẹ́ pé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ti wá kí ló fẹ́ máa lọ sí kí ló fẹ́ máa lọ sọ fún òun lọ sí Jerusalem kí ló máa jẹ pilgrimage gbogbo tourist center tàbí nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lásán ṣe kékeré ṣé ní èdè ìdáfẹ́ sọ ní nínú ìlú state ìdáfẹ́ sọ ní níbo la fẹ́ sọ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá àwọn ibìkan wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ wọn kò ní ikọ̀ gbèsè tó jẹ́ pé omi funfun omi gbogbo àtọ̀ mo ti débẹ̀ yẹn rí mo ti débi táwọn sọ yìí rí ṣé Ìlọrin yìí la fẹ́ sọ lóòótọ́ state bí ṣé kí lorúkọ ẹ̀ Òkè Màríà ní Àkókò la fẹ́ sọ níbi tí kí lorúkọ ẹ̀ ọmọ ọdún kàtí wá gbogbo nǹkan lọ́dọ̀ fi ṣe kẹ́ wá ọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá wá rí bí ọmọ lẹ́nu tó jẹ ọmọ aláṣọ tó ń wọ àkísà nǹkan tó fi lọ fojú má nìyẹn rí tó bá jẹ́ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló fẹ́ lọ ó fẹ́ wá láti di Èkó ó fẹ́ kó àwọn kan lọ sí ìlórúkọ Èkìtì níbẹ̀ yẹn ta ló fẹ́ máa harassment ni wọ́n sì yẹn àwọn kan náà harassment ta ló fẹ́ máa fún láàyè protest ẹ̀kọ́ tó máa ṣe sí. àwọn afọ́ọ̀dù ni wọ́n bá sọ wọ́n kó gbogbo iyebíye wọ́n sọ pé wọ́n lọ sí ìta wọ́n lọ sí Mẹ́kà ìwọ̀n wọn dẹ̀ lọ sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n máa treat wọn nípa ti people tó jẹ́ pé àwọn àràbò tó jẹ́ pé they see black as a less human being. báwo àwọn ṣe ní dúdú nìyẹn wọ́n ṣe ní dúdú nìyẹn tẹ bá jọ wà níbi iṣẹ́ tó bá bá ẹ̀rẹ́ ìlọ́nà ọ̀pá ìlọ́nà ọ̀pá kò jù akọkùnrin wọn wọn kórìíra dúdú bí nǹkan bí àwọn tó jọ ń ṣe ẹ̀sìn mùsùlùmí tó sọ ojú ọjì àwọn dúdú wọ̀nyẹn wọn kàn tọ́ra wọn ẹ̀sìn tí wọn bí àwọn ṣe ń ṣe ẹ̀sìn tẹ́lẹ̀ tó wà níbi Nàìjíríà yẹn àwọn àràbò ni wọn gbé sí ẹ̀sìn lọ ọmọ lè sọ pé kìí bóyá Islam lọ́jọ́ sí wọn ọ̀nà táwọn fi ọ̀ka ní kí ní ẹ̀sìn tí wọ́n yẹn lọ sí ti àwọn wọn tọ́ra wọn jẹ́ ni wọ́n tọ́ra wọn jẹ́ máa dìyẹn máa tó ka ìwé tó ka gbogbo ẹ̀ tó pé 25 years ló fi kàwé omi kéèyàn ṣe wọ́n bí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ṣe bọ́ ṣe treat ẹ̀ wọ́n bá sí síbẹ̀ torí pé ó pa àwọn ọ̀nà kan lọ sí I'm quite sure. Irú àwọn èèyàn tó jẹ́ pé ìgbà táwọn èèyàn máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation máa sọ pé kí lè sọkọ it might be one of them. Kí sọ fún ẹ? Irú àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. That's a disease tó ẹ pé most of them wọ́n máa jẹ breakfast. Wọ́n máa jẹ breakfast. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ká ṣe máa jẹ breakfast. Wọ́n máa jẹ fọ́fọ́. Wọ́n yóò jẹ́ láwọn tó jẹ́ pé tó ta gbogbo Yorùbá nation níbẹ̀ yẹn. Èmi ò máa gbé èmi kọ̀ọ̀dẹ́ gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe sí o. Ìṣègbè mi inú mi dùn sí nǹkan tó ń ṣe sí o. Ó sáàdì. Ti sọ fún Koiki, ó sáàdì. Ilé wo ojú sí bó ṣe treated because Yorùbá bí tèmi ni, dúdú bí tèmi ni. Dúdú níbi ìmọ̀ àwọn èèyàn tó jẹ́ tó máa sọ pé kí làwọn òpó ìṣẹ̀ ìfọ́nà pẹ̀lú lọ́rọ̀ Yorùbá tó jẹ́ kó bìí fún mi wọ́n lẹ̀ wọ́n lè jẹ́ wọn lọ́wọ́. Ó lè jẹ́ wọn pẹ́pẹ́ yẹn. To be honest, ó lè jẹ́ wọn ní wọ́n kúrò. Ẹni tó wà nínú ohun tó wà lódò tó wù pẹ́ Koiki bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá ṣe rí o. Àwa lódò à ń bọ̀ pẹ́. Fún mi sọ kìíní torí gbogbo jápa táwọn èèyàn jápa yìí. Torí wọ́n systematically wọ́n fẹ́ kí wa kó lórí ilẹ̀ wa ní but àwọn èèyàn understand. How many Fúlàní ló ń jápa kó lórí ilẹ̀ wọn? Gbogbo jápa wọ̀nyí wọ́n fẹ́ ká kúrò lórí ilẹ̀ wa wọ́n mọ̀ tó ṣe. Tí ó gbọ́ ká ní kò wọ́n ti máa ń gbọ́ ẹni ìgbẹ́ tí wọ́n fi ṣiṣẹ́ pàdé àwọn Yorùbá àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nígbà tí wà yìí àwọn Yorùbá àwọn Ìgbò àwọn bàbá sọ pé àwọn Haúsá sí àwọn Yorùbá ní ọ̀nà àwọn gbogbo iṣẹ́ tó jẹ́ kí àwọn Yorùbá ṣe táwọn ìgbàgbọ́ pé bí ìyẹn láwọn Haúsá Fúlàní tó máa ń ṣe náà wọ́n. Mo máa ìṣọ̀dá náà bẹ̀yẹn tí mo ti máa ń ní àròjìnlẹ̀ yẹn nígbà ọ̀kẹ́.
What's going on?
Yorùbá sáwọ̀d tó wá síbi tó bá wà tó wà àtàwọn òbò àtàwọn àlọ́rí àwọn Fúlàní tó wá síbi tó wà wọ́n máa ń kàwé ní tó bá tètè kàwé tó tó gbàgbà lọ sílẹ̀. Tó bá dẹ̀ wá kàwé bí òbí ni wọ́n Koiki kọ́ máa ṣe even part-time job wọ́n lè ṣe. Wọ́n sọ̀tà àwọn ọmọ tó wá kàwé níbí ní Western world ìbí inú wọn every 2 weeks ló ń padà lọ sílé nígbà tó padà wá ó lè lọ lórí tó lè sí Nàìjíríà àtúpadà wá. Wọ́n fà tó kàwé níbi àwọn ọmọ Fúlàní tó wá ń kàwé ní Western world òbí ni wọn kọ́ ló máa ṣiṣẹ́ part-time job because gbogbo accommodation everything ló ti gbogbo àwọn ló ti wà lẹ̀ fún wọn. Wọ́n ilé ìtọ́ ọ̀sán báyìí wọ́n ọ̀dọ̀ yín bẹ̀yìn báyìí pé àwọn ọmọ 40,000 Nigerians náà sọ fún wọn ìṣòwò school kan. Tó bá jẹ́ pé Yorùbá nation ló àdé Yorùbá nation kí ni díìsì tó fẹ́ wá máa fi kàwé ní Western world. Gbogbo ìgbé wọ̀nyí kan scam ní àárẹ̀ sẹ́ni scam ní ara nǹkan tí fẹ́ náà sọ.
Agbádùn yín.
Láti bí ọ̀la. Ara ọ̀la wà láti tó máa sọ pé ìwé education táwọn British fún wa gbọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀tọ́ wọn fi ṣe wá. Ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀tọ́ wọn fi ṣe fún wa. Gbogbo nǹkan táwọn British ṣe fún wa gbogbo ẹ̀rọ lórí irọ́ ni. Lórí irọ́.
Ọlọ́run akọ́wáyọ́ ní ìdààmú yọ. Ẹ ṣé gan ẹ̀gbọ́n mi. Thank you so much.
Ojú lásán àdìsí gbọmọlé lọ́wọ́ ìdúró. It's not possible. Àwọn tó ń kọ̀nà lẹ́rú wọn fẹ́ ẹrú òfẹ́ kẹ́rù òkú ẹni tó kọ̀nà lẹ́rú kò fẹ́ kẹ́rù òkú lọ kò fẹ́ kọ́ a lè fojú lásán gbọmọ lẹ́rú lọ́wọ́ ìdúró o it's not possible kò possible rárá because mo máa ń sọ kíni kan ó bẹ́ẹ̀ka mo máa ń sọ that is my own ṣé pé kò kéèyàn wà láyé kó máa sọ́fà kó máa jẹ̀yà. Mo ní kéèyàn bá kú kan bẹ́tà o láti ìjọba kan bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́tà. Gbogbo ẹ́nájì táwọn èèyàn tó wà nílé tó máa fi ń ṣe náà. Wọ́n fi yàá jẹun. Wọ́n ní láti tó yẹ kó fi bá wọn jà wọ́n ní bá wọn jà. Àwọn tó ń la bíréètì wọn láti máa tọ́jú sí. Ẹ́nájì tó yẹ kó fi bá àwọn tó yẹ kó pòtù wọn into this mess.
Eshegoni Baba, thank you so much for the contribution. We're so grateful. Eshegoni sir, thank you so much. Eshegoni. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n wa tó pè tán. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sórí Twitter space. We have Olaniran if you take off the mic, so you can go ahead. Lati Bawa contribute. That is if you want to, because you requested for the mic. If otherwise, I would move on. But if I hear you speak, I would pause the wall. As you can see on the screen, I don't believe in one Nigeria. That was President Tinubu at some point, but it seems that yeah, boss, okay.
Mr. Koiki,
ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò náà.
Ọlọ́run máa bọ̀ ọ́ ṣe
ẹṣẹ dùmarè ẹgbẹ́ ahẹ́.
Mo kàn fẹ́ sọ ọba ọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀ nípa lórí pé onídàá kí n sọ pé àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ ní space àwọn ọmọ Igbo, space àwọn Biafra, so because ọmọ Yorùbá ní ọmọ Ogun State, Abẹ́òkúta ní tiwọn. So èmi ní study under British educational system, because ìgbà tí mo dá tí mo dé primary 1, 2, 3, gbàgbé ní primary 4 ní ìjẹ̀lẹ̀ ká A to Z. So before tó di pé primary 4 yẹn wọ́n tún wá lọ pé mo pass wọ primary 5, so mo wá bèèrè lọ́wọ́ tíṣà yẹn pé èmi tí ò lè kọ tí ò lè kà báwo ẹ pass wọ primary 5, because primary 5 mo mọ àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tó wà níbẹ̀ wọ́n ti mọ̀ ọkọ ti mọ̀ ká èmi ń ìjẹ̀lẹ̀ ká A to Z. So báwo wá ni oyè lọ́rẹ̀ tíṣà sọ pé mo pass, so lẹ́tà ṣàmúṣà síta láti kúnlẹ̀ because mo don't make sense ní ojú tèmi, so mo níta láti find my own educational system by myself. So mo lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní sọ lọ́wọ́ join ní wọ́n mi mo bá wọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí mo bá wọn tajà. Nǹkan tí wọ́n kọ́ understand ní mathematics, sẹ́nìbọ̀ tó kọ́ ní mathematics kan dédé understand nípa ọjà fún ọ̀gá fún Yorùbá. So mo lè understand wípé ojú ti àwọn tí ó lọ sí university àti tó ṣe university tó parí university lọ. So ó tó wá di pé gbogbo àwọn ohun tí mò ń rí ní surrounding o ní everywhere o kò make sense sí mi. So kó tó di pé mo fall into research. So ẹ má bínú tí mo wà busy tí mo wà rí, but anytime tí bá ti wà busy máa move mic yẹn so máa lè continue now.
All right, no problem. Thank you so much.
So mo dey fall into research, so I don't believe research mi tẹ̀lé ṣe research nípa government, nípa country, nípa nípa tí wọ́n kọ́ ṣe research lórí ni báwo ni mo ṣe báwo kí àti kí ni who am I ọkàn bẹ́ẹ̀ tó gbé pọ̀ sí technology side tó lọ́bẹ̀ tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe research nípa technology. So gbàdúrà bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ṣe research nípa technology mo rí pé tí bá ṣe research lórí mo ṣe ń ṣe research mo ra equipment fún ara mi, owó ṣe tí bá ṣe máa ra equipment àbí ṣe research so láti lè make sure pé mo wà successful lórí any project tí bá dáwọ́ lé lórí. So gbogbo àwọn kan tí mo ń result mi ń get mo máa ń bèèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn university graduates, mo máa rí pé it's like àwọn ọmọ anything rárá àtọ́, because only ọmọ kan tí ó sọ pé science student lòun kò dé wà ní 400 level. So wọ́n bèèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ pé àwọn ọ̀gá yín tọ́kọ yín ṣe sọ pé energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be transformed from one to another. So how come tí o bá da epo sínú generator dem wá sọ pé epo yẹn ti tán sóde ẹ̀fọ́ ìkò sí náà mọ́, so ibo ní energy yẹn lọ. So èmi mọ̀ nǹkan tí mo bèèrè lọ́wọ́ but òun ò lè dá mi lò. So máa ń fọ̀rọ̀ gùn ta because tí bá fẹ́ máa sọ àwọn kí ni máa ń láti post a space ní ìdílé so that àdé àyálé wà láti sọ àwọn kí ni. So mo discover pé èyí náà nǹkan tó ń pè generator ọtí mi sọ wà lọ́dọ̀ tèmi, nǹkan tó ń pè generator ọ̀ṣì generator is just energy pump irọ́ ni wọ́n pa àwọn èèyàn. So generator yẹn the energy is ó wà ní surrounding already. So tó bá fẹ́ kó máa tan iná nínú group ẹ̀ o kàn mẹ́rin láti wá nǹkan bíi kó lè lo copper, kó lè lo irin, kó lè lo but the most efficient one láti lò òun ní copper. So iná yẹn wà ní surrounding already, o kàn ní nǹkan tó máa kó òkú jáde fún ẹ láti bóyá o fẹ́ lò nínú group o kàn náà, bóyá o fẹ́ lò nínú fan o rò lù fan, bóyá o fẹ́ ṣe ògbó láti kọ́ tó bá wọ́n ti fẹ́ lò wọ́n rẹ̀ ṣe. So and nǹkan tó máa kọ́ ṣe you have to create road fún sódà ìbẹ̀rù àgbà lọ sínú nǹkan tó fẹ́ lò. So láti ṣe ọ̀nà yẹn òun ní kọ́pà. So tó bá tàn ó níye tàn tó bá tàn náà mọ́ irin
tó bá wá irin tó bá fi ń gbá irin yẹn àbẹ́ sì rí iná máa jáde so and research yẹn ò dúró bẹ́ẹ̀ because mo trace ẹ̀ débi pé mo fẹ́ mọ source of that energy so at the end of the day glory be to God mo discover source of that energy mo discover pé gbogbo energy surrounding ló wà so ó dìpẹ́ lórí ọdún wa pẹ̀lú màdìbá mi láti má pọ̀rọ̀ kò síta gbogbo àwọn kíni láti lè prove ẹ̀ practical because ó nígbà kan tí mo kọ́ ọmọ university kan tó náà sọ pé science students lòun náà so tí wọ́n á bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ pé tó bá ra ìṣáná nìsín tó bá mú ìṣáná yẹn tó bá fi ṣá kíní dúdú tó wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ìṣáná yẹn ó máa múná jáde wọ́n á bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ pé iná tó mú tó jáde yẹn ṣé inú ìṣáná yẹn ló wà ní àbí inú páálí yẹn ó sọ fún mi níbi tí iná yẹn ti wá so kò ṣáà ní àṣà tó kò ní èsì tó lè fi lọ sọ wọn tó iná yẹn ti wá lòtọ̀ wọ́n sọ pé iná tí ó jáde láti inú ìṣáná yẹn iná yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ ló wà so just like tó bá fi ọwọ́ méjì tó bá fọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ọwọ́ tó bá fi ń ra owó mọ́ra wà nígbà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gbóná so it's like tó bá mú kí tó bá fi ń kóra wọn tó bá fi lè kó ẹ̀ náà wà á rí pé iná á sọ jáde kò nínú ẹ̀ so iná tí.
it's the same thing bí àwọn tó máa ń lo òkúta tó máa lo òkúta mo ní dàbí ìgbà táwọn tó máa ń lo òkúta tó máa fòkúta tó máa gbó títí tó bá wá fi pépà fi wé sí amúná ẹ̀ jáde.
so ẹbí lọ́wọ́ àwọn ènìyàn pé ṣé inú òkúta iná wà ní kò ń ṣe inú òkúta iná wà ní sọ̀rọ̀ àǹdí ó dìpẹ́ lórí nǹkan tó bá ṣe wà ní támi iná ṣe máa jáde tó yẹ dìpẹ́ lórí nǹkan tó fẹ́ lò fún tó wà ní támi sọ́kẹ́tì tó wà lórí tó bá kéde sọ́kẹ́tì yẹn mo ló máa fún ẹ ní o tó fẹ́ so àti mo rí yẹn mo tún bọ́ sórí òkè wọ́n sọ pé omi tó sọ pé wọ́n ń treat pé wọ́n ń da nǹkan sínú ẹ̀ pé kó máa treat ẹ̀ àdéhùn ìdí mo ti tọ́ka pé nǹkan tó náà fi ń treat omi yẹn nǹkan tó máa ń kí sẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n á pa sẹ́ẹ̀ nínú brain ni so that's a lot of secrets tí mo discover so kó tó di pé wọ́n á bọ́ sórí government pé I don't know government báwo ni ìlú wa yìí pọ̀ tani mo ti kọ́ ọ̀gbà wọn kí ni mo rò pé nǹkan tí mo discover yìí gba nǹkan tí mo mọ̀ yìí òun ṣe nǹkan tó yẹn pé mo ní máa lọ sí business máa lọ business máa ṣiṣẹ́ fúnra mi but sígbà tí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí study nípa gbọ́dọ̀ mo rí pé tí èèyàn bá jáde pẹ̀lú nǹkan báyìí tó bá lọ bẹ̀tá ní ó expose government wa monitor pé wọ́n máa ṣiṣẹ́ fún wa so tó bá mọ̀ pé níyẹn ò gbà to the terms and conditions government kọ́ tó máa ṣe ni pé ọmọ wa gbogbo ọ̀nà máa mú ẹnìyẹn kó lọ́nà so gbà tí mo lè rí kó pẹ́ kí ni yóò ṣe nǹkan tí máa lọ ṣe tó ń fẹ́ lọ okùn company pé wọ́n máa ṣe kí ó kó súnmọ́ government kí n kábí develop orílẹ̀-èdè tí wọ́n ń gbà ẹ̀ so gbà tí wọ́n á wọ́n tó lórí pé mo lọ ẹjọ́ fún mi ní 1 second.
All right. While we are waiting for him to come back.
Wọ́n á láti study government láti bó ṣe wáyé study government ní bóyá sí bí orílẹ̀-èdè wa báwo ló ṣe jẹ́ báwo ló sọ pé Haúsá Yíbò Yorùbá papọ̀ wá di orílẹ̀-èdè so mo ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ìyẹ̀wò mo rí pé gbogbo àwọn kìíní yẹn irọ́ ni gbogbo ẹ̀ ó tó gbọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wáyé sí òkè kọ́kọ́ history ilẹ̀ wa báwo ni ilẹ̀ wa ṣe jẹ́ báwo ni Ògùn state ṣe jẹ́ báwo ni Ẹ̀gbá ṣe Ìbàdàn ṣe wà kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ọ sọ pé wọ́n jagun kan bẹ́ẹ̀ kí ló fa ogun tí wọ́n jà bẹ́ẹ̀ ní discover pé wọ́n tó fa ogun tó jà dàrúdàpọ̀ àwọn òyìnbó British àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ wa tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí create condition tí wọ́n ń brain wash lórí pé oníkálukú bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní bá ara wọn jà lórí pọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sọ pé wọ́n jagun ogun Ìbàdàn wọn yọ ogun bá ogun Biafra bá wọn pè so wọ́n rí pé àwọn òyìnbó yìí àwọn ni wọ́n wá tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gba ọ̀bẹ lórí pọ̀ táwọn wá so mo lè tó ṣe research lórí pé kí ni nǹkan tí àwọn wá gbọ̀gbọ̀ kí ni nǹkan tó wà ẹ̀ láti so wọ́n sọ fún ìgbà tí mo sì gbogbo tó láti kí àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni mo tó láti pọ̀ tiẹ̀ ṣọ́ọ̀tì so ìgbà mo rí pé wọ́n sọ fún ìgbà tó wọ́n wà nǹkan tó kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ ni ẹrú wọ́n fẹ́ kí àwọn ìwà ṣẹrú fún ọlọ́dọ̀ wọn then later nígbà tí wọ́n discover pé láti máa lo ẹrú yẹn wọ́n ní láti bọ́sibọ́n yẹn kọ́ máa ń tẹ̀lé wọ́n máa force ẹrú wá ṣe ìsúnmọ́ lọ́wọ́ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ nínú àwọn ẹlẹ́gbàá ṣe àwọn kìnìyàn so wọ́n rí pé àwọn ẹrú ò ní sinmi àwọn náà ò ní sinmi wọ́n tó wá di pé kan nínú àwọn ìpín yẹn wọ́n wá discover bí brain ti máa ń ṣiṣẹ́ so gbàtọ́ discover brain ti máa ń ṣiṣẹ́ gbogbo àwọn kan tí mò ń get nínú research mo ti do gbà tí wọ́n discover brain ṣiṣẹ́ pé o ní láti force èèyàn force ara ẹ̀ o ní láti brain wash ẹ̀ just to brain wash the soul and the soul yẹn happen to body adé ṣẹ́n out pé wọ́n ń nà yàn àbí something so mo discover tẹ́mi discover fún ara mi pé nítorí ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ṣe dá government system sílẹ̀ governing system so kó tó di pé wọ́n ṣe pé wọ́n kó gbogbo wọn papọ̀ kó wá fi ẹnìkan sí lórí pé òun ni president tó máa jẹ́ president wọn kan bẹ́ẹ̀ so that àwọn táwọn bá wà nílùú tiwọn náà wọ́n máa control president máa control àwọn tó wà níbà so and tools tí wọ́n ní láti ṣe àwọn kíni orin television rédíò gba àwọn kan bí o ṣiṣẹ́ àbẹ̀wò ṣe wà nísìnyí so mo lè discover gbogbo àwọn kìnìún yẹn so àlẹ́ náà bí ẹ̀ wọ́n á gòkè tó bá ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ kàn ṣe ǹjẹ́ wọ́n sọ pé Nàìjíríà gbòmìnira ní 1960 ǹjẹ́ lóòótọ́ ni òmìnira tó gbà láti mo tó yẹ̀wò náà mo rí pé púpọ̀ ní tí ọ̀tọ́ jẹ́ pé ọkọ̀ òmìnira the same thing the brain system program tí wọ́n ṣe òun náà ni wọ́n fi brainwash sọ pé wọ́n gba òmìnira so àlẹ́ náà dídè wọ́n mú àti ọba wa àti ìjòyè àti àwọn ẹrú tó wà nínú ọkọ̀ òun àpọ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ fi government system wọ́n dẹ̀ fi mú everybody lẹ́rú sínú ìbẹ̀yẹn so wọ́n dẹ̀ ti sọ pé kò sí kankan tí wọ́n lè sọ lè fi kọ́ nínú ẹrú so and secondly nǹkan tí wọ́n tún wá àbí nǹkan tí mo tún wà ní kọ́wà pé lẹ́yìn ìgbà yẹn mo tún wá ní kọ́wà ní pé mo rí pé lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí wọ́n ti succeed máa lọ àtọ́ ti succeed nínú government system yìí láti máa brainwash àwọn èèyàn lè máa ṣiṣẹ́ fún wọn free and fair bóyá máa sì jágbe àwọn kan bẹ́ẹ̀ pé kí wọ́n ṣá máa ṣiṣẹ́ fún wọn ṣá wọ́n wá rí i pé nǹkan tí wọ́n wá ń wá ní ìsọ́ọ̀bì bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní darúgbó òlu tó di pé gbogbo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní dàrú papọ̀ mọ́ra wọn kí o gbẹ òun lórí ni pé wọ́n fẹ́ gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tó wà lẹ́nu kan normally ìgbà tí mo ṣe research pé ok kọ́pà nísìnyí tó bá fẹ́ ṣe anything tó bá jọmọ́ electricity bóyá bí àwọn even though fóònù anything mọ́tò tó bá ti o gbọ́dọ̀ ní di kọ́pà o gbọ́dọ̀ lo kọ́pà wà nínú so mo àpẹ ibo ni wọ́n ti get kọ́pà yẹn mo rí pé inú ilẹ̀ amọ̀ ìkòkò amọ̀ kòkò yẹn kí n tọ́ fi mọ ìkòkò iyẹ̀pẹ̀ yẹn ibẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti extract kọ́pà jáde so ìgbà tí mo tún àwọn mo travel lọ sí ibì kan ní ọ̀dọ̀ wa Ifọ̀ ìgbà tí mo lọ síbẹ̀ mo rí pé àwọn ti pẹ́ gidi ìgbà tí mo sùn wà kékeré oúnjẹ lọ síbẹ̀ àti kó àmọ̀ yẹn tó máa parọ́ báwọn èèyàn fáwọn ìṣọ̀nà so ó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ṣe ọ̀nà kankan irọ́ ni wọ́n pa wọ́n kó àmọ̀ yẹn ó dẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ extract kọ́pà nínú ẹ̀ so nísìnyí kọ́pà yẹn àtàwọn aluminium ọ̀bẹ ó wà ní gbogbo everywhere so nǹkan tí wọ́n máa ṣe nísìnyí pé wọ́n fẹ́ frustrate everybody lè sàdánù olórí rẹ̀ àti wọ́n dẹ̀ lọ àwọn Fúlàní adé wọn pàdánù so àdéhùn dídè àwọn alẹ́mọ̀ọ́rá yìí máa kó gbogbo àwọn nǹkan àwọn mineral resources tí wọ́n fẹ́ fún yìí so tó bá dàbí ẹ lọ ṣe research nípa ẹ̀ just àwọn nǹkan tí mo sọ so àní ìsinyìí nǹkan tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí nínú pé wọ́n fẹ́ yẹ kí ìlú ìgbórójú ráyè so that tí òwe bá ń gbà ó dàpọ̀ yín ò ní rí tiwọn rò so tẹ́yìn ò bá ti rí tiwọn rò àwọn máa ṣiṣẹ́ tiwọn lọ so gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe nìyẹn but èmi àti decide pé since o ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ èmi ò lè lọ sí anywhere nítorí understanding mi nípa technology ó bẹ́tà máa dúró nínú ìlú wa tábà ní freedom mo lè wá jáde wáyé pé freedom ò tọ́ àti tó ní òun la ní tí ẹni tó jẹ́ ọ̀gá ẹni tó máa control tó máa jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó máa dúró àti gẹ́gẹ́ bí president tó bá jẹ́ olóòótọ́ àlóòdù mo lè jáde because oríṣiríṣi kò ṣe nípa technology mo rí pé iná there is a way tó máa replicate the same copper tí mo sọ yìí tó máa create socket tó ń pé èèyàn nídìí doctor mọ́ just tó bá nínú yàrá wọn tó bá ti plug ẹ̀ mọ́ wọ́n sọ pé tó bá kàn ṣe university tó mọ̀ tó bá kàn ó máa correct gbogbo problem tó wà nínú body system yẹn so but kò sí kan tí mo lè ṣe nísìnyí pé mi ò lè lọ sí mi ìjáde kó lè country máa wà níbẹ̀ because mi ò lè máa lọ sí technology ní lọ sí develop country so it is better than make I just keep on wa so tábà gbòmìnira tábà dẹ̀ mọ̀ bá máa gbòmìnira lágbọ̀rọ̀ náà so
wow that is well that is the power of the brain tí Elédùmarè fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá but ọmọ Yorùbá tí kò mọ̀ pé ntẹ Elédùmarè fún wa àwọn òyìnbó wọ́n rí wa dáadáa wọ́n mọ̀ brain power ọmọ Yorùbá wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé brain power yẹn ó níṣẹ́ tó lè ṣe ẹ wo graph tí mo fi wọ̀n wáyé tí a ti ṣe 3 hours and the program like I said títò òyìnbó yẹn is not something we can do in one go but àti ní understanding it so we use it multiple times the video is there I will use it multiple times ẹ wo gbogbo ìlú tí British colonize báwo lọ ṣe rí ṣe ọ̀nà òun lọ́gbà bàbá wa Moses Ọláníran ni I think all the problem we're going through now come from the hand of our independent founding fathers and why should they agree on those colonial masters wàhálà ìtẹ̀tí wa pọ̀ jù I'm not joking because yes we are living à ń jí à ń sùn but in the long run it is like sometimes ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tó náà ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ for 16 years ìyàwó wà nílé ọmọ wà nílé wà kàn lọ́lé bíjọ́ méjì mẹ́ta láàrin ọdún kò yẹ kó rí báyẹn but torí pé àwọn tí wọ́n control wa tó gbé wa ní lọ́wọ́ àwọn Fúlàní àtàwọn olè ọmọ Yorùbá tí wọ́n náà ń ṣèjọba lé wa lórí mo ń bọ̀ mo fẹ́ fún wa ní ẹ̀hún lélẹ̀ gbogbo ìlú tẹ̀ ń wò yìí pátá látòkè délẹ̀ ni British láǹfààní àti colonize ẹ wo ọdún kọ̀ọ̀kan tí gbogbo wọn náà dáná fún wọn ní independent kò sẹ́yìn kankan fún ní independent ní gbogbo wọn ẹni tó padà free ààrẹ ìjà burúkú bí àwọn Indian àwọn Pakistan mo gbọ́ pé Indian ti gba gbogbo gold wọn tó wà nílùú ìpadà bí àìtọ́ tọ́jú sínú bank of a reserve they've taken it back mo gbọ́ lórí thank you so much that _local_ girl. And as I leave you this afternoon, the conversation stays on we shall revive and strengthen our education because òun nìkan ní the greatness wa education ta ní nígbà tá a bá rẹ̀ ti destroy ẹwẹ́ tó ń pè nísìn tó pè tán lórí Twitter space ṣé èèyàn máa sọ pé ẹni tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí kò ní brain ó ní brain power tẹ́lẹ̀dùmarè fún wa ní Nàìjíríà ló kọ̀ fi tiwa kó bá tiẹ̀ and they destroy the whole education system so mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá o gbogbo ìlú tẹ́ ń wò nínú graph tẹ́ ń wò yẹn tẹ́ ń wò wá lórí screen ẹ rí Nàìjíríà ń bẹ wọ́n ní 1960 àwọn 1977 America kọ́lọ́mbà àfọ̀rún kẹ́ ń kù mí tó fún mi ní kinní he died last year kọ́lọ́mbà mi tẹ́wọ̀n sáfẹ́fẹ́ pẹ̀lú gbogbo àwọn tó ti kú ìjà but bí gbogbo wa ṣe mọ̀ we all know the end result of what would happen but ẹ má ẹ̀ka sáré ju ìtàwọn bàbá wa ní ká ṣe lọ ẹ jẹ́ ká máa ṣe education tá à ń ṣe ká máa bring a conscious mind àwọn èèyàn wa padà lóòótọ́ àwọn èèyàn wa ti wà adamant pé ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà yẹn àwọn máa tọ́ta síbẹ̀ ní mú kí Abdullahi Ọmọbọ́lájí ṣége bí wà nílé nísìnyí bọ̀ gbogbo problem yẹn is to wọ́n kàn tún fún àwọn kan míì divert attention wa ó yá Tinubu ìwọ náà lọ ṣe president Buhari ti ṣe tiẹ̀ wọ́n tún fìyẹn divert wa àdúrà tí mò ń gbà ni pé kó má rí Tinubu pa o because there is a lot of indication pé wọ́n fẹ́ gbẹ̀mí ẹ̀ ẹni mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ́ Ọlọ́run ní fún wọn ṣe Ọlọ́run ilé Elédùmarè ní fún wọn ṣe mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ mo kí ẹ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Abdullahi Ọmọbọ́lájí mo máa ń kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé ìgbìyànjú wa Ọlọ́run á bá wa dé sádé Àyìndé Usman mo kí ẹ mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lábẹ́ ètò Don Kelvin Kopman ó ní mad people all over the place Tinubu break up this shit whole country Prince kò kí ń ṣe pet name gbogbo ìgbà ni máa ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí Prince Gbádé Ọláwọlé Ìbánjọ nígbà kan tó bá pèèyàn lóògùn náà máa sá lọ àṣẹ orúkọ tó dá lògùn òyìn á máa bọ Ògún bí wọn náà ṣe ń lọ sí pilgrimage bí bàbá wa yẹn ṣe lọ bí wọn náà ṣe ń lọ sí Mẹ́kà tẹ́ ń lọ ṣe ọdún gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń lọ ṣe ọdún ní gbogbo ibi tẹ́ ń lọ ọba Elédùmarè aṣọ yín láṣọ yín padà Ifádìmọ́lé ayé mo máa ń kí ẹ mo kí ẹ Kenzi Abiola Fápóhùndà wọn náà ń kó yín ló kọ draft regional government tí gbogbo èèyàn carry all over the place mo máa ń kí màmá mi dáadáa Grace Robert mo kí yàwá Grace talẹ́lẹ́ tó wá ju jágbàjàgbà sí bí ìbàdàn wọ́n fún wọn ní bọ́ńdù níbo lélẹ̀ wà pé àkàtú lélẹ̀ ìbàdàn yọ̀ náà ẹ̀yìn á wá sórí program ní program ojú jágbàjàgbà síbẹ̀ ọlọ́run yẹ pé mo tètè rí ẹ Prince Adébáyọ̀ Ṣítù mo mà kí yín mo máa ń dágbére pé a tún ń lọ báyìí a lọ fún kú à ń lọ tún lọ pé ó tún dìgbà míì nígbàkigbà tá a tún máa padà wá ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní gbogbo ibi tí a ti ń mẹ́tò yẹn wá eníjọ bí Julius mú kí ẹni tí ìbá dárúkọ ẹ má fi ṣèbínú èmi náà ni àbúrò yín olólùfẹ́ yín tí gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí Koiki Media. Ibi tá a máa mú ètò yẹn wá sí ní ọ̀sán yìí ó tún dìgbà míì tí a tún máa padà wá wíìkì yìí títí di Sunday lórí education yẹn náà la ṣe máa sọ lé lórí. A ti ṣe audio ẹ̀ jáde, a ti ṣe video ẹ̀, and we plan to be doing that with all the other content that Baba Akintoye ní ká máa sọ. Mo ti wá print gbogbo ẹ̀ jáde, mo tẹ́ mọ̀ pé ẹ mọ̀ pé lánàá fẹ́ print gbogbo ẹ̀ há. Mo ti print ẹ̀ jáde, ó pọ̀ gan. Gbogbo àwọn kan tẹ́mi máa tọ́jú lélẹ̀ ìwé folder mi. Journalist máa ń like ká ní paper lọ́wọ́ than pé kó wà lórí computer. It's 95 page. Ẹ̀yin náà lè ní ó wà lórí PDF, ó wà lórí website mi koikimedia.com. Mo kí gbogbo yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. So mo wá lọ ra folder. Mo ra folder mẹ́rin. Gbogbo àwọn tó kù náà mo ti kó wọn sínú ẹ̀. So oníkan tí máa fún wọn sí mi náà. So gbogbo n tá n treat yìí òun lè ẹ̀rọ ṣe rán smell. So a ṣe ń lọ sí number page 95. Níbẹ̀ ni ó máa dé. How long ló máa take wa? Ẹ má béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi. Iṣẹ́ tó bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ni mò ń ṣe. But we are taking it. Tí bá ní ká máa ṣe ní one day, á ti pọ̀jù fún mi. Ìyẹn ni mo ṣe spread ẹ̀. Ìyẹn ló ṣe ń pè ní lecture. Syllabus wa lélẹ́yìí. Tí bàbá ẹ jẹ́ ń fẹ́ show yín kẹ́ lè rí dáadáa. Ṣé jẹ́ ń yọ anthem yẹn kúrò kan tí bá send ẹ̀ ní anthem yẹn tí fẹ́ play. Ṣé jẹ́ kí n yọ ilé tí a fi wọ̀n yìí. Syllabus tí Baba Akintoye ní kí n máa fi educate yín lélẹ́yìí. Àtèmi náà torí pé àwọn kan tí bàbá yẹn kọ síbẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ lèmi náà mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀. Kọ́lọ́n túbọ̀ bá fi bàbá yẹn kó bá wa dá ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ sí dáadáa fún wa. Kọ́lọ́n bá wa pẹ̀lú olóyè Ìgbòho àtàwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí ẹ̀. Kọ́lọ́n bá wa fi gbogbo ẹni tó ní ìran Yorùbá ò ní bọ́. Mo bẹ Jésù Kristi pé kó bá mi ṣèdájọ́ fún yín torí ìyà yìí pọ̀ jù, wàhálà yìí ti pọ̀ jù. Kí ló dé? Kí la ṣe? Kí la ṣe? Mo fẹ́ fi wọ̀nyí ká tó máa lọ ní o. Kẹ́ lè rí pé n tí mo print nǹkan kì í síbẹ̀. Kì má sọ yìí tó kù ó ṣọ̀sán gan òlélẹ̀ tó ń fò káàkiri. So ẹ jẹ́ ká mú lọ báyìí. Ẹ rí pé tá bá wá sókè èyí tí Baba Akintoye gbélé mi lọ́wọ́ ṣe rí pé nọ́mbà 3 péré la ṣiṣẹ́ àti ṣe méjì. Ìkẹta là ń bá lọ ẹ̀. A ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa we are a nation with a proud root and proud history. A ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa in independent Nigeria we have suffered serious decline and agony. Ìyẹn la fi sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá. Eléyìí tá à ń bá lọ láti àná no la fi sọ̀rọ̀ ní last week rather. Òun ló ń pè ní we shall revive and strengthen our education. Ṣe rí pé nǹkan kì í síbẹ̀ 35 ló dé. So gbogbo ẹ̀rọ ni mo ti print out yìí torí lẹ́gbàá míì máa fẹ́ máa reference ẹ̀ tí kò ń ṣe orí kọ̀mpútà torí generation tá a wà gbogbo nǹkan ti believe orí kọ̀mpútà but àwa kọ̀ọ̀kan báyìí a sì máa ń fẹ́ ní paper work ẹ̀. So ìyẹn mo ṣe lọ ra kinní yẹn £1.50 ló cost mi. China náà lọ kókó tí ń kó gbogbo ẹ̀wà ara tá à ń sọ náà nìyẹn. Mẹ́rin ni kinní tí mo rà yìí kinní note cover yìí mẹ́rin ni inú ẹ̀ ni mo kó gbogbo ẹ̀ sí. Ẹyọ kan dẹ́ wà níbẹ̀ yẹn fẹ́rí gbogbo eléyìí nísìnyí £1.50 èyí tó bá dé láti China nísìnyí tá a bá wò lọ wò bọ̀ dó àwọn £1 shop àwọn máa ra ní pọ́ọ̀kì ni gbogbo tẹ́ ẹ wá sọ pé kí ìlú máa work ọ̀nà òde ló fẹ́ work nígbà tó sí production. Ẹ̀yàn mi mo dágbére fún kú tó bá tún dìgbà míì kọ́ba Elédùmarè jẹ́ kí Tinubu rán wa létí pé àdògán ṣì wà lọ́wọ́ àwọn DSS kó bá wa ṣe gbogbo ohun tó tọ́ tó yẹ kó dá òkú yẹn padà àti Tàfà ká lè rí wọn sí dáadáa. And on that note mo kí gbogbo yín tẹ́ wà lórí Mixlr and many of you that have joined on the Twitter space and on the Twitter itself. Ẹ tẹ̀lé wa ẹ follow wa lórí X tó ń pè ní Twitter ká lè jọ máa push ẹ̀ láti ibẹ̀ náà. Gbogbo tó kù náà ó máa wá sí ìmúṣẹ. Mo kí gbogbo ilé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí o. Yorùbá nation no going back in you. No going back. Poverty yẹn ó ti pọ̀ jù. Agbọ́dọ̀ jáde nínú oko ẹrú. Mo kí ẹlẹ́ǹkan sí just reason. And on that note, a very good evening. Mo kí dókítà mi dáadáa. Ọmọlúwàbí apẹ̀rẹ̀ mo kí gbogbo yín. Àwọn èèyàn tí ọ̀dà náà èèyàn kan pè mí lánàá tẹ̀ send screenshot ẹ̀ sí wọn ní Koiki. Ilé tó wọ̀ lánàá yẹn ṣé London ni no. Ọmọlúwàbí apẹ̀rẹ̀ ni wọ́n ṣe ètò ẹ̀ pé Mr. Koiki ìwọ ni ó sọ pé ìwọ ni bàbá Yorùbá lẹ́yìn bàbá Akintoye ìwọ náà ni àbí lẹ́yìn Ìgbòho ẹni tó máa ṣe ni pé gbogbo àwọn tó bá ti rí ilé tó ń wọ̀ tó ń pè ní ọmọlúàbí apẹ̀rẹ̀ yẹn á máa dúró lára so ìwọ náà ni o lè bá wa ṣe pé ká tí wọ́n bá ti ń wọ̀ àwọn tó kù náà wọ́n máa rí lọ́rùn ẹ̀ so ọmọlúàbí apparel òun ni wẹ́bsáìtì yẹn ẹ bá ti lọ síbẹ̀ fìlà lẹ́fẹ́ ni èyí tí máa fi ń kọ́rùn yẹn mo tẹ̀lé má gbé yẹn jáde tí bá ń jáde láàárọ̀ torí pé mo máa ń fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn rí pé Yorùbá ni òun náà ni ẹ̀ ń wò yìí ọmọlúàbí apparel wẹ́bsáìtì wọn nìyẹn ẹ bá ti lọ síbẹ̀ ní ṣákálá ẹ rí báàgì níbẹ̀ gbogbo nǹkan lọ ní níbẹ̀ pátápátá báàgì yẹn lélẹ̀ kò ń ṣe tó wọ́n púpọ̀ kò ń ṣe tó wọ́n kò ń ṣe tó wọ́n ẹ̀yẹn ṣáà ti click ẹ̀ wàá deliver kò síbi tó lè deliver sí mo wàá lè sọ Nàìjíríà o £23 ní báàgì yẹn kò ń ṣe tó wọ́n ẹ̀kọ́ convert ẹ̀ padà sí dọ́là ní ẹ̀yin tó wà lamẹ́ríkà ní Canada ẹ bá ti click lórí buy it with this shop bóyá ló máa dọ́dọ̀ yín láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà tó bá order wá sí UK estimated delivery wọ́n máa sọ fún ẹ náà lamẹ́ríkà kò ní jìn lamẹ́ríkà torí pé ẹ̀yin súnmọ́ wọn ju àwa lọ so ẹ̀rí pé lè tèmi lò òun ni ó dẹ̀ da báyìí wọ́n á ti fi kọ́rùn báyìí ìná láti fi sọ́rùn báyìí kí ní kàn mí ní bá tèmi lọ nìyẹn màá gbé sẹ́yìn báyìí tó gbogbo àwọn ọmọ tó bá ń wò mí lẹ́yìn kò sí àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké o àwọn àgbàlagbà tó wò wá pé ta ló ń lọ yìí and they have a lot of different things that you can ẹran tí fìlà tí máa ń dé yẹn náà oríṣiríṣi kọ́lọ̀ ló wà o lè lo èmi láìkì tó dàbí military àpémi àti easy òun ló máa bá mi send gbogbo bàtà àti aṣọ military wá láti Amẹ́ríkà láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà èmi náà ń bọ̀ nínú Amẹ́ríkà bẹ́ẹ̀ mo ti lè sọ pé gbà báyìí eléyìí náà mo ní eléyìí náà so ó wà ní black ó dẹ̀ wà ní heavy forest ni mo máa ń wọ̀ ó dà pé òun ni mo fi ṣe program ní ìdájí so mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí ṣẹ́rí pé tèmi náà bá ti wọ̀ báyìí ẹ bá lọ wo program tá a ṣe ní òru èyí program kejì tá à ń ṣe lénìí ní Ọlọ́run kó fún mi lálàáfíà kó wà pẹ̀lú gbogbo wa èyí tá a ṣe mọ́jú láàárọ̀ yìí òun ló lé ìṣẹ́rí ẹ̀rí pé òun lèmi náà wọ̀ yẹn ṣẹ́rí pé ó dúró lára mi ẹ̀rí pé òun ni mo wọ̀ yẹn KOIKIMEDIA ṣẹ́rí pé ó dúró lára mi so tẹ́yìn náà bá order £34 ni kò ń ṣe tó wọ́n rárá kò ń ṣe gbogbo owó náà la máa send lọ sí Nàìjíríà àwa náà gbọ́dọ̀ tọ́jú ara wa torí pé lẹ́ǹkọ̀ọ̀kan tíyàn bá ṣe careful ìyẹn send owó léèyàn lọ sí Nàìjíríà nígbà tí ojú àánú gbogbo náà lákòókò lójú àánú kọ́nà kó ṣàánú wa tó bá yẹ pé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ṣiṣẹ́ ni ìyànba la máa send owó yẹn á lè tó wá ná mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí o Yoruba nation no going back have a very good afternoon KOIKIMEDIA bringing the world closer to your doorstep ẹ máa gbàgbé àti wà ní oṣù tuntun end of the month mẹ́wàá ní gbogbo ibi tí olúkálùkù wa bá wà ká lọ máa dáwó yẹn owó ni wọ́n fi ń ṣọkọ owó ló fi ń ṣẹgbẹ́ owó ló fi ń ṣèlú ìyẹn làwọn olóṣèlú náà ṣe ń jí owó ẹ jẹ́ káwa náà dá owó tó pọ̀ tó dàtà bá tẹ̀ máa jáde tán ká jáde ní gbogbo ọ̀nà bọ̀tá àbá lówó tó pọ̀ dáadáa tó máa difficult láti ṣe so much àṣà lè sọ pé àwọn tó ń print kan ṣe fún wa lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ gbogbo yẹn lè possible ọ̀dẹ̀ lè work mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí a very great afternoon and enjoy the rest of the day KOIKIMEDIA bringing the world closer to your doorstep ájú wa ṣe o kò ní sú wa kò ní rẹwà gbogbo ẹni tó bá ní pé ànídélẹ̀ lérí ẹ̀yin ló kù sí lọ́wọ́ àwa máa débẹ̀ ẹ̀yin ni ẹ lè má fi débẹ̀ àwa máa débẹ̀ kò jù bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn lọ bye for now from this side Yoruba nation for life 1914 amalgamation ó ti expire and the end of Nigeria is coming bye for now ọ̀ràn míyàn mẹ́wàá má gbàgbé láìpẹ́ láìjìnà mo ń bọ̀ lamẹ́ríkà máa sọ fún yín tí bá máa fi gbéra torí pé Amẹ́ríkà ni mo ń lọ wọn kidnap èèyàn níbẹ̀ àlọ́ Nàìjíríà àwa Nàìjíríà bye for now.